5 Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV, ready to bring you your dirt finale here in the C2C Speed Weeks. Currently, Blake Chapman, the man at the top of the point standings. He's got a 7-point lead over Brennan Lacey, 11 points over Chad Griggs, and 24 over Goldner. Stephen Goldner, he's here. Brennan Lacey is here. Do not see Chad Griggs, so going to be a 3-car shootout here for this dirt finale. I'm not too sure with drop weeks and all what Stephen's lowest race count it is and stuff like that, but right now between Brennan and Blake, it's pretty close. So I would say if Brennan maybe wins this thing, Blake can't finish inside the top 5 with drops and all that, it should get pretty interesting between those two drivers. Chad Griggs, your overall champion coming into tonight as well, but second broadcaster Travis Piercefield, he'll be doing the Daytona race, so he'll probably talk to you a little bit more about that later. But Chad Griggs winning the asphalt and the overall champion right now, 4-point lead over Brennan Lacey. So Chad maybe has done enough on the dirt side of things. Might want one better run on the asphalt side of things, with possibly looking at a win last night. Contact coming out of 4 at Daytona on the last lap. Led to a P3 for him. You know, maybe not what he wanted, but P3. Still a pretty good points night. Right now we only have 14 drivers. Not too sure when we're going to roll this, if we're waiting for one person in particular. We are supposed to start on the hour. But only 14 guys, 50 laps here is what the session's set up for. So that really won't take too long. So stick around, wait for a couple drivers. Probably not the end of the world. And well, there come 3 drivers actually: Brandon Templeton, Kelly Wheeler, and Harold Klump. So like I say, don't mind waiting here, but we'll just sit at the front stretch until maybe, you know, one of them can feel free to hop up into Discord and tell me what's going on, even if it's, if you're a driver and you look in here, I had myself muted. I can unmute myself just not to freak you out, but I just do that so when I'm on commercial and stuff like that, I don't accidentally hang myself open in Discord and, well, somebody come up top and hear me talking crap on them. That's the last thing I need. Not a lot of guys down in the Discord. Only 7 drivers in the Discord, so not going to go down there and flood anyone. And, well, actually, we're going to roll now. You see the checkered flag wave, so able to get those 3 in the party here. No Isaac Salas tonight. Tough break there. Isaac, let's see here. Let's take a look at those dirt standings again. Well, when I say we, you can go to c2crl.com/speed-week if you would like to look at it. They're listed there. Well, no, Isaac, he's only run 3 races, so that's why he's so far down the list, but maybe just didn't feel like he stood a chance. Hang up the cleats here. Take it easy this evening as we watch Brennan Lacey roll into turns 1 and 2 for his opening lap of qualifying. Brennan Lacey on the outside. You can hear that big block really screaming here, trying to bring up all the speed he can to the line. Slower through sector 2. But a 16.15 puts him P2 for now as Jason Butterfield, the 93. He's at the top of the charts. Butters would love to start off tonight with a good qualifying effort. Let's see what he can do. Can he improve? Not better the second time around. But Butters still finds himself at the top of the charts. Let's see Greg Parmalee here. He comes across the stripe. Lap number 1, P12 for Greg Parmalee. Looking for a big improvement here the second time around. See the Sam Akonda here, the 007 Sam Bachman. Quick time for Sam. Surprise, surprise. You put this guy in the big block, always qualifies in that top 5. And Sam Bachman just gets dethroned by Randy Shreves, so he's going to have to settle for P2 as the 56 of Randy Shreves. Purple through sector 1. Is he going to improve here? Lap number 2, slower through 2. Randy Shreves does improve, though, second time around by about 4 thousandths of a second. And Randy Shreves, one of the only drivers to actually improve on his second lap, and he didn't need to. Already had the pole, but congratulations to Randy Shreves. Your quick time here in your 358 big block modified qualifying. 17 drivers registered now, so I would imagine we're going to go 9-8 here in the heat races. But I could be wrong. We could do a 7-6-6. Not too sure how they're gonna do this. Well, no, 7-6-6 wouldn't work either. It would be 6-6-5. Let's see. How much time we got here? Oh, no time. This is literally, I click it over right as the session changes. You see it go to the white up top on the leaderboard. And we get ready here to take a look at our starting grid. Take a look here. Starting grid, heat race number 1. Sorry about the delay. Row number 5, all by himself on the inside. The mare in the 75, Steve Bixler. Row number 4 on the outside. Greg Parmley to the inside. The 36 of Barry Goldner. Row number 3 to the outside. Scott Zeneker to the inside. Dean Reynolds. Row number 2, Stephen Goldner to the outside. Butters, Jason Butterfield to the inside. Row number 1 for heat race number 1. On the outside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. To the inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. The Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 1 is underway. 8 laps to play. Randy Shreves taking advantage of that outside. That outside. No. Okay, Randy started on the pole. I thought he started on the outside there, but maybe not. My brain playing tricks on me. It was Butters there. Kelly Wheeler started on the outside. He was the guy losing 2 spots. I had to take a look at the leaderboard there. Saw everybody up spots in green, especially the mare up 4 spots here early, up 5. I couldn't find the rock who was sinking there, but it seems it's the man in the 30, Stephen Goldner, and the guy in the 110, Kelly Wheeler. Both down 2 spots here in the early stages while they watch the 56 of Randy Shreves absolutely disappear. Almost a second lead here in 2 or 3 laps. Jason Butterfield gets so close to that backstretch wall trying to find the speed. Did cut into the lead a little bit, but he's only got 4 laps to go, so if he gets there, he's going to have little to no time. He's going to have to speed it up here a little bit as the mare in the 75 takes a look to the inside. Kelly Wheeler up front, that 110. Has enough to hold on for now. The mare takes a peek. Does that open the door for Stephen Goldner? Stephen Goldner to the outside through 1 and 2. Sends it in deep to 3, but can't find a way to get up to that top shelf. And with only 2 laps to go, Randy Shreves, 9/10 of a second lead on corner entry, watches it disappear a little on exit. But he's in no hurry, no rush as the white flag flies. 1 more trip around for the 56. Stephen Goldner to the inside of the mare. Can he throw the slide job? The answer's no. Steve Bixler off that top shelf gets a run. Final time through 3 and 4 for your leader, Randy Shreves, as the checkered flag waves. Randy Shreves, Jason Butterfield, Dean Reynolds, Kelly Wheeler, Stephen Goldner, Stephen Bixler, Scott Zeneker, Barry Goldner, and Greg Parmley round out your field here in heat race number 1. Let's take a look at your second and final heat race starting lineup. Row number 4 to the outside, the 78 of Jack Clevenger to the inside, the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Row number 3 to the outside, the 888 of Steve Maurer to the inside, the 94 of Gary Offit. Row number 2 on the outside, the 76 of Harold Klump, lining up on the inside, the 414 of Brennan Lacey. Row number 1 for your second and final heat race at the Volusia Speedway. On the outside, your current point leader here on the dirt side of things, the 20 of the salesman, Blake Chapman. And starting on the pole, the 007 of Sam Bachman. Sam, he was watching that heat race just like y'all were, and if he wants to be able to play with Randy Shreves tonight, he knows he needs to put himself in a good spot to do so. Start on the front row. There's Randy Shreves. He's going to drive off into the sunset here if these guys fight too hard in the feature. But we've got time here to settle the outside starting lineup for our feature. Heat race number 2 is underway. 8 to play. Sam Bachman with a good jump there on the bottom through 1 and 2. Brennan Lacey tries to do the same. He takes advantage of the inside starting spot. Jumps in front of Blake Chapman. His B-10, Brandon Templeton, tries to throw a slider, but Harold Klump drives around the outside. Give it to the 31 at the line. Harold Klump in that newly painted 76. New to me anyway. I like that thing. Good looking paint there for Harold, but oh, he may need to repaint it. Contact from the 31. Big wreck here, heat race number 2, and with that, our first caution of the evening flies. So let's see here. Can we get above real quick? Now, Brandon's clear. I mean, that slide job's fine. Kind of rest on Harold Klump at that point. Brandon may have felt bad. Gonna lift out of it and pull to the inside. I know, Brandon, you don't want to race like that, but dude, slide jobs are part of the game. He had that thing cleared. He was there, and it's not what you want to do as a race car driver, but sometimes you need to lift your foot out of that gas a little bit and go back at it the next lap. And unfortunately, Harold Klump not able to do that there. And two guys racing hard. And make contact coming out of 4. Laps will not count here, so when we come back, yeah, there we go. It actually just refreshed to the 6 to go. When we take the green flag here, we'll have 5 laps to go, so just 1 lap over halfway, plenty of time. Gives you a chance to regroup here if you're Blake Chapman. Tighten up. The guys are thinking about wanting to go double file. That's not gonna happen. We're within 10 to go here in this heat race, so restarts will be single file, I would think. No, okay. Double file restart. All right. I guess in the feature with 10 to go, I know that's the way it works, but hey. Wrong once again. We'll have 5 laps to figure it out here at the Volusia Speedway Park. The Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off coming out of 4. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 5 to go in heat race number 2. Sam Bachman slides up, jumps that cushion a little bit, though, and Brennan Lacey with a good run coming out. He's right to the deck lid of that 007. Closest we've seen so far. Now he takes a peek to the inside. We got a battle for the lead through 1. Sam saw it coming, cuts under, and that's what you want the 76 to do there. That's how you cut under someone and prevent him from finishing a slide job. Brennan gives him a little shot going into the corner, but Sam holds on. 3 to go. Boy, Chapman got a mirror full of that AAA, but now Jack Clevenger hikes away around the outside. Move Jack on up to the top 4 as Sam Bachman rolls off of 4. 2 laps to go here in Volusia. Three-quarters of a mile left here as we head down the back stretch. Sam sends it into 3. Brennan not close enough to make a move just yet. What kind of run does he get it on the front stretch? Not enough of one. Can he cut to the inside? No. He gets a little loose in 1 and 2, and that's going to be all she wrote. Final time through 3 and 4. Sam Bachman sees the checkered flag wave, and he's going to bring it home. Brennan Lacey, Blake Chapman, Jack Clevenger, Brandon Templeton, Gary Offit, Harold Klump, and Steve Maurer rounds out the field. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be right back with your small block modified, big block modified feature 50 laps when we come back. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as warm-ups come to a close. Dean Reynolds, Blake Chapman, Jason Butterfield, your top three in warm-ups. We've got 50 laps here to let the dust settle. See who brings home your overall dirt champion. And we'll see who brings home the checkered flag. I wouldn't be surprised if that 20 car maybe goes for a complete sweep here tonight on the dirt side of things. Brings himself home a championship and a checkered flag. Plenty of time to go here. Let's see. Let's take a look at the starting grid. Running out the field inside of row number 9, the 4, Greg Parmalee. Row number 8 to the outside, the AAA to Steve Maurer. To the inside, the 36 of Barry Goldner. Row number 7 to the outside, the 76 of Harold Klump. To the inside, the 143 of Scott Seneker. Row number 6 to the outside, the 94 of Gary Offit. To the inside, the mayor in the 75, Steve Bixler. Row number 5 on the outside, the 31 of B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. To the inside, the 30 of Steven Goldner. Row number 4 to the outside, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. To the inside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Row number 3 on the outside, the 20 of the salesman, Blake Chapman. To the inside, the 79 of Dean Reynolds. Brennan Lacey in the 414 lines up on the outside of row number 2. To the inside, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield. Row number 1 for your big block modified 358 feature at the Volusia Speedway. To the outside, the 007 of Sam Bachman. And starting on the pole, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Well, Steve King Foundation pace truck should stay out there, and it does. Go around one more time here before we get going. But Randy Shreves in a good spot here to really cement himself in what he's done in the speed weeks. He's been running up front. He's gotten involved in some accidents. Not all of his doing, maybe in a karma-related incident a couple nights ago, but it's one of those things, Randy, he's been up at the front. That's what you like to see for that 56. Really been competing, trying to bring home wins every night of the week. And, well, if you find yourself racing up front, sometimes good stuff happens, sometimes bad stuff happens. But we got 50 laps to figure it out here at Volusia. The green flag's high. It's ready to fly. We're underway. 50 to play. Randy Shreves with a good start there in that 56. Sam Bachman finds himself almost on the outside. 3 wide is the 79 of Dean Reynolds to the inside. 4 wide here at Volusia. Dean Reynolds stuck now on the bottom as the salesman in the 20 drives on by the 110 of Kelly Wheeler looking to hitch a ride, but Dino's got that thing screaming down the backstretch. A lot of tack down there on the bottom. Meanwhile, the guys upstairs having to play with that throttle a little bit. You see where the racetrack's shiny, you're not going to get the grip that you'd like. And Dino completes that short slide job on the nose of the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. He stays down to the inside, but he knows he's got a gap now, and he's going to use it. Dino falls in line. Steve Bixler trying to run down the 31 of Brandon Templeton, but he's corking up the bottle a little bit here. The 94 of Gary Offit stuck behind. Harold Klump trying to find a way around him. And just back the road, Scott Zeneker there in the 143, looking to go one step higher, but the 110 of Kelly Wheeler and Dean Reynolds involved in an accident. No caution just yet here at Volusia as Dino's trying to get one. I don't know what more he's got to ask for. The car's sitting still. It finally comes out, and I'll tell you, I don't know what's going on there. Dino clearly involved in that accident a while ago. What do you want him to do? I'm pretty sure we're going to get the proof here. I think the right front tire goes off this thing. So, I mean, what's he supposed to do? And let's see here. Yeah, it does. See? I knew I saw one roll down the racetrack. And Dino, we saw last night, Dino had a pretty good run going, and somebody broke the right front, stayed out there on the racetrack, and arguably cost Dino a possible podium, definitely a top 5, and well, Dino showing, that's what you do there in that situation. It's always been that way in dirt racing. I was taught if you're spun out, realistically, what's the point of pinning that thing and trying to keep it going if 9 times out of 10 when you spin out, unless it's all by yourself, and you're actually able to do that 360 and roll. But if you get contact and you get spun out, just come to a stop on the racetrack, bring the caution out, let the officials deal with what happened, and just go back out there, regroup. Caution flag still in the air, though, not ready to go back just yet. Guys just doubling up here a little early, tried to throw me off. As you see the yellow flag still in the air. Lights on the pace truck. As the lights are off now this time, so we should go back racing here. And it's a case of what happened in the sprint cars and the modifieds earlier, and then the 358s earlier in the week. Well, the 358s actually, I think they went caution-free, to be honest with you. Kind of expect a couple here in the beginning, and then I'm telling you, these last couple laps, they're gonna click off like nothing. Got a long green flag run in, so you gotta use this time. make a jump here while everybody's close. As the 56 of Randy Shreves absolutely nails that restart. We're back underway. Brennan Lacey moves himself up into that third and final podium spot as the 30 of Stephen Goldner. Remember, he's in the points battle with Blake Chapman. He's to the outside now of Blake Chapman. Man, oh man, the dirt points make it a little interesting here. You see the 14 of Brennan Lacey. 3 cars up the road. If Brandon Templeton can find a way around the 20 of Blake Chapman, he's going to have to start looking out that front mirror and counting points, doing some math, and it's not necessarily easy to do when you're out here driving a dirt race. So Blake's probably got a number in mind tonight, knowing, hey, if I fall back to, let's say, 8th, 9th, that's where the danger zone is. And I'm sure Blake's done his homework. Just going to relax here, save some tire, and make sure he's got enough here for the second half. As we're finally a fifth of the way through as we come to lap 11 this time. Ooh, Jack Clevenger there. I jumped over him twice. Skipped up out of the groove there. Thought maybe he was going to leave the door open for the 94 of Gary Offit. Gary thinking about making a move. See Dean Reynolds trying to work his way back up through the field. He gets into the side of Steve Bixler, and Steve Bixler hard into the outside wall. And just like that, caution number 2. So let's see here. You see Dino, he's going to drive it in, just not clear. Steve there. And boy, man, that is a hard hit there for the 75. And yeah, not too sure there if the steering broke on him or what, but you can kind of see here. So, I mean, definitely very hard contact, and that's what could have done it. But you see the thing, it's turned to the left, but now you see both front wheels. I mean, he kind of hikes that thing into the wall, almost kamikaze did after the contact. And boy, oh boy, left a wake of destruction there in 1 and 2 as you see his tire rolls off the top of the screen. Big hit there for the 75, but able to stay on all 4. Use a quick repair and get back out there, so that's going to be the benefit there for the 75. We go down the backstretch here for the final time. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, lights are off. I couldn't tell if they jumped the gun early on me or not, if they're doubling up. But no, that's a green flag, and it's high. It's ready to fly. Randy drops the hammer. Good jump. Brennan Lacey looking to take advantage there. On that inside, can he go get a move done on Sam Bachman? He's got a good run. Does he throw a slide job? Not enough room in between him and Randy. He's got to stay down low. And now, can he get that 14 back upstairs of that top groove where we're seeing so many guys have that success tonight? But maybe the 14 doesn't need to. Big run down the backstretch. He stays low. Creeps under the 007. I just don't know if Sam Bachman isn't down low giving it a shot. Normally the high side's where you want to be. And Sam looking to make it 3 wide here. Going to be the meat and the sandwich. Going into 3. Sam Bachman. Slide job for the lead. Jumps the cushion 3 wide. Goes from first to third. Welcome Brennan Lacey to the party here. He moves on up to P2, but he's got a long train on that outside. He's got to make it stick. But man, the 14 of Brennan Lacey really showing some hay down there on the bottom. But caution waves behind, and Steve Maurer, not too sure what happened. Let's see what happened to the 888. So I think at this point may have already happened for the mayor here. Yeah, pulling down to the inside is enough for the caution, but poor Dino, he was pleading for that caution a little bit ago, couldn't get one. Do we see anything that happened here to the 888? Oh, yeah, definitely. So Steve got a little sideways there. And I think that was by himself, but let me try to find Bixler here on my list. There we go. So yeah, he's got to get in the brakes, check up. Scott Seneker gets into the back of him when he's already sideways. He then gets into the 888, and Maurer goes into the inside wall. Car probably broken, and he drove it around there a little bit. Didn't like the feeling of it, pulled it to the inside, and towed that thing off. Steve Maurer may have to call it a night here at the Volusia Speedway Park. Greg Parmalee, your current hard charger, started at the tail end of the field, up to 10th, up 7 spots for the 4. As the lights are off, looks like we are going to go green this time. Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off. Randy Shreves drops the hammer. As we're lap 17 now in the books. Jack Clevenger with a slide job there on the 20 of Blake Chapman. Blake just watching himself lose these positions. And Dino trying to get back into the mix there. You see him on the bottom 3 wide, and that's 79. But Blake Chapman, he's got the pass at the line. Brennan Lacey looking low here on the 56 of the Randy Shreves. Right back where we started before that final caution. Brennan Lacey to the inside, the 56 on the outside. Give it to Randy for now, but Brennan, he's really figured something out through 1 and 2 down here on the bottom. If he could find a way to get up into that moisture at the top of 3 and 4, I think he'd have a lot more speed, but right now, just committed to that bottom. Trying to work away around the 56 is Sam Bachman patrolling the high side just out of your picture. He's got the 93 of Jason Butterfield trying to find a way around him. Easier said than done, though, for the 93 is now when he takes a peek to the inside. You see the 31 of Brandon Templeton. He'll be able to slot right in that gap and try to make the outside work. So Brandon Lacey back to the bottom. He's ahead for by half a car in the middle of the corner. But Randy just outpowers him on exit. What kind of run can Brendan get on the bottom here? Can he get it done this time? He does. He slides up in front of the 56. And 2 laps before halfway, Brennan Lacey takes the lead. His teammate in the 30, Stephen Goldner, down low, trying to learn a little bit there. Brennan's probably saying, man, you just saw me take the lead. It works. Go down there, save your stuff, try to work on by. It's all about throttle control down there. It is fixed setups, I believe. They ran their open setup one already. So, fixed setups. Go out here, you run what you brung. Oh, Brennan Lacey, man, he got very close to hitting that pit road exit. Brennan Lacey really giving it his all down low here. Gonna go right back there in 3 and 4. What's it look like this time? Man, Brennan Lacey. I mean, just look at that. We're going to ride off this left front here going through 3 and 4. He's just so close, but if you want the speed, that's how close you gotta be willing to go. And Brennan Lacey, man, if he reaches that hand out his hand out of the car, he may lose a finger or two. Sam Bachman to the outside. He takes over P2 from Randy Shreves, who's just really had trouble with this car the last 5 or 6 laps. Set the pace early. Maybe burn it up a little too much outside. Gets into the 93 of Jason Butterfield. Butters, he hits that outside wall, but able to control it, keep it straight. He's just got to calm himself down. He's clearly got a quicker race car right now. But Randy making that rear end wide, not going to be easy to work his way around as Dean Reynolds saw him just creep up there in the bottom. Remember, he had to come from the back of the field here, was involved in that mid-race caution. A little earlier, we're just technically a little past mid-race there. So, I mean, he had plenty of time. That's when you want it to happen to you, if it's going to happen at all. Sam Bachman reeling in your leader here, Brennan Lacey. He's got to make a business decision. He doesn't. He doesn't go up in blocks. Stays in the bottom through 3 and 4. As we come up on a lap car, Steve Bixler to the inside does a good job of staying out of the way. But we're side by side. Lacey, slide job. Sam Bachman cutting under here. New leader this time by 19 to go. Sam Bachman leads the way. Steven Goldner and Blake Chapman inching closer and closer to this 31 of Brandon Templeton, holding on to your final top 5 spot. And meanwhile, those top 3, Randy Shreves, he's really gotten it back together since falling back to 3rd here. You know, we were worried about him losing that spot to Butters. Well, he's gapped Butters by almost a second. He's stayed right with the front 2. And Randy Shreves maybe on the good end of those tires now. Maybe, you know, let him seal over under caution. Needed to work him in again. And that 56 right back at it is Brennan Lacey all over the tail tank of the 007. 16 laps to go, 15 next time by. As Steven Goldner's found his way to the rear end of the 31 of Brendan Templeton. Scott Zeneker, Jason Butterfield in that 93. That thing just has not been the same after the contact with the 56. Got into that outside wall. Has really affected the handling of that car. Just looks a little tight on entry. And now Butters looks to the outside. He cuts in. Templeton up top. But Sam Bachman here feeling the pressure for the lead. We got to jump up front. They were almost 3 wide and 1 and 2. Randy Shreves back downstairs trying to make it work as the 75. Still pacing around. Steve Bixler doing a good job, though, getting out of the way here, giving the leaders the top lane. Brennan Lacey firmly holding on to second for now. He's lagging a little bit here, that 414. He's back, he's gone, he's back, he's gone, he's back. The Magic Man still holds on to P2. Brendan Templeton, how much longer can he fight off the 30 of Steven Goldner? And, you know, I know Goldner, he's going to fight off Blake as long as he can. He knows his teammate Brennan Lacey stands a chance at this overall dirt championship. If he can go up here, steal the checkered flag from Sam Bachman, plenty of time to do it. He could be your overall dirt champion here for C2C Speedweeks. 10 laps to go. Slide job for the lead. Brennan jumps that cushion. The 007 cuts back under, and that allows Randy Shreves to inch right back closer to these two. Brennan right on the tail tank of the 007 gives him the little kiss in the middle of 3 and 4. 9 laps to go. Blake Chapman trying to find a way around this second pack here. He knows he could be watching that championship slip away lap by lap. As I warned you, we were in for a long green flag run. Here it is, 8 laps to go. Dean Reynolds running all by his lonesome. He'd love Blake and the boys to mix it up here a little bit, but Brandon Templeton finally gets around that 93. Oh, Butters thinks about sending it in. Leaves a lane, though, for Goldner. Gets him in the outside. Whoa! Oh, no! The 007 of Sam Bachman. Oh, boy. We had a couple accidents starting there on the racetrack, but the big one of the guys battling for the lead, the 007 of Sam Bachman. Let's take a look here, see if we could see what happened. Sam out front, firmly had been holding on. Not going to get a good view there. Let's see. So, maybe a little bump there from Lacey. I mean, nothing malicious, but just a little one. And slows Sam up enough that Randy can't go anywhere. Hard into the back of Bachman, and caution flag waves. But boy, oh boy. Heartbreak for the leader in the 007. Sam Bachman is not what you wanted to see happen to Sam. No, if you're Blake Chapman, you got to be paying attention here. The guy you're battling in the overall points just inherited the lead. A little ways back the road, so all pressure's on the 20 of Blake Chapman. If mom and dad are watching, get in there, poke the kid, tell him it's go time. If he wants to be champion, he's got to turn the wick up here, because Brennan Lacey has been quick out front whenever he's been there. I mean, him and Sam were rotating back and forth, but he's had the pressure on. We're back underway. 6 to go at Volusia Speedway. Randy Shreves caught sleeping a little bit. Big gap between him and Brennan Lacey, and that's what Brennan wanted here. Maybe what Blake Chapman needed as well, but he doesn't need that 79 to the outside trying to work around by him. That may be one more spot here, as look at Dino powering around the outside. Blake with a good run, though, off the bottom in 1 and 2. He stays low, but maybe not as low as he needs to. Need to use all that grip down there. Floats up a little too high. Brandon Templeton completes the slide job for P2. Randy Shreves thought about sending it back in there. Not even close enough to try it, as Brandon Templeton watches the sand fall out of the hourglass. 3 more laps to go, this time by for your leader in the 414. Blake Chapman, I hate to keep going back to this kid, but it's between him and Brennan. Back and forth, back and forth. This is the points championship here for the dirt. Blake trying to make it work in the basement. He's got Dino at the line. 2 to go. Brandon Lacey drives it into 3 and 4. As he sees that white flag come out, it waves one more trip around Volusia Speedway Park. Lacey, little rub in there with your leader. I consider it clean. Sam left it open. It wasn't intentional, and he's doing his part trying to bring home a championship. Final time out of 4. Brandon Lacey brings home the checkered flags, followed by Brandon Templeton and Randy Shreves on your podium. Stephen Goldner, Dean Reynolds, your top 5. And Blake Chapman, P6 there at the end. We'll see if that spot between him and Dino is the difference maker. Remember, Dino restarted behind him, and Dino able to finish P5 after coming from the back of the field. Great run for that 79 machine of Dean Reynolds. See if we can't find that long green flag run here. There we go. We'll see if we can get a word with the man who drove that 56 here this evening, Randy Shreves. Oh, Randy's already up here. Here, I have myself muted, or he would have been able to chime in. Randy, Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
Well, man, it seemed like it was just a tale of two races here at the beginning. It seemed like that 56 was really quick, or really three stages, actually. The 56, that you were quick, Randy, in the beginning. The middle stage, not so much. You had a little bit of figuring out to do, but at the end, man, you were just as quick as those other guys. Just seemed like that last restart caught you out a little bit.
Yeah, it's just starting up front, man. You can just pay attention to what's in front of you, and everybody else behind you is getting things figured out, and they found the low line a little quicker than I did and got around me, and a couple guys battling it out up there and not being patient. People throwing slide jobs that weren't clear, and it ended up in third. Thought that I could have done a lot better, but people play stupid games and win stupid prizes. So
Yeah, definitely not what you want to have happen, but dude, charity night. You kind of expect the gloves to come off a little bit, but at the end of the day, Randy, you're able to keep this 56 firmly planted in the top three. Congratulations, man. Hell of a run. Who you want to thank?
appreciate it. Definitely want to thank everybody at Coast to Coast for putting on this Speed Weeks. I want to thank KSB Builders, my boss Jeff Span, his wife Tanya. I want to thank my son Dylan Street for painting my car. Just everybody, man. You for broadcasting and everybody for watching.
Hey, great run, Randy. Congratulations, man. And not too sure where you're going to shake out in these dirt points, but, you got bounced around a little this week. I know not the most fun time you could have had, but, dude, that 56, you're up here flirting with the lead in every race that I called, man. You're showing a lot of speed this week. Hell of a job, Randy.
Thanks, man.
Randy Shreves, your P3 finisher, and the man who was able to work his way around him on that final restart. Brandon, up 8 spots, man. It just seemed like that caution came maybe 5 or 6 laps too late. By the time you're able to work around Randy, just not enough time to go chase down Brennan.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really feel like I had a whole lot there for Lacey at the end, but I kind of didn't get to start right behind him either, so it's a little bit tough to judge. But overall, it's a pretty good race. Just had to be really, really patient. I don't know. I think there was probably some 358s in there, and just had to be like half throttle around the track and just waiting on the car and waiting for chances to make a move. And it was a little bit tough to pass, but I was able to put a slide job here and there. I know when I threw that one on Randy, I thought I left him clear, all kinds of room on the outside, and he must have been cutting down because he got right up behind me and killed his momentum. But I didn't mean that to be like a dirty move or anything, but overall, pretty good racing.
Yeah, we saw you early on, and Brandon, I know, you're one of those guys that if I even said it there on the broadcast, if you make contact with someone, you're one of the first people to pull down to the inside and say, dude, take it back, if you feel like you're in the wrong. And I'm leading off with that because that first slide job in an early caution, I saw you pull down to the inside. Were you worried you were in the wrong in that one? Because I'll tell you right now, man, you weren't. You had him clear, and as well as I do, slide jobs do part of racing. You got to lift out of that if you see the guy coming up.
Yeah, it's just one of those tracks where it's like the high side gets so much momentum, and so when you make that move, it's really hard to judge. Are you going to give the guy enough time because he's coming like 15 mile an hour faster? So, yeah, you can clear him, but you want to make sure you do it ethically too. You're going to be able to pass him back in the next corner if you're faster, so you just do it that way if you can. But keep your head in it, and don't try to put a move that you can't can't catch, I guess.
No, man, and you're able after that opening mix up. You had to fall to the back, and you're still able to bring that 31 right back up on the podium, man. Strong finish. Congratulations. Who you want to thank?
I got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank. He's really the reason that we're able to be out here doing this all the time. The guys at Hammer Down Racing, Joe, Kurt, Brian, Mission 22, Got Your Six Racing Network, you, Shaggy, for doing the broadcast, Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Hogan's Lawn and Landscaping, everyone watching at home, thank you.
Well, congratulations, Brandon. Good P2, man. And, well, are you going to come back out for Daytona, or are we going to call it a night here?
I think that's a night for me. I got a district basketball game with my nephew in it. I'm going to be watching that.
Well, hey, man. Wish the nephew the best of luck, and have fun, Brandon. Good job tonight.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and pull up our winner here, Brennan Lacey. Brennan, able to bring home the checkered flag, man. And, you probably had a chance to go back and look at it by now. And, slight contact between you and Sam. But, dude, looking at it, when I slowed it down, to clear the conscience a little bit, it looked like he was kind of heading up that way anyways there before the contact. But what's your take on it?
I hate it. Don't want to do it that way, but watching back, I wouldn't say if he was going up, but I mean it was enough that yes, he topped the wall, but you're so damn close up there. I tried a couple sliders, and it's so hard to pass these things. And did I mean to do that intentionally? Absolutely not. It just kind of tapped him, and then really it looked like he was fine, and then 56 just had nowhere to go, and that's really what did him in. So I mean, I'll take fault for it just because it was me that initiated it. But we kind of need to do what we had to do to stay up front there and just kind of hold on.
No, man, you're exactly right. I respect the hell out of that answer because it's the truth, and if anything, Brennan, that is a 50-50 deal. He jumps the cushion in the middle of the corner. You guys have been throwing slide jobs back and forth, racing hard, and that's what we want, man. The final night of Charity Week, you're battling for a points win. Now I'm going to find out here. By surprise.
Oh, I already know. Don't you worry, Shaggy. I already know.
Oh, he got you by one. Dang it.
I knew it was going to be tight, but that's all you could ask for. So, Blake got me by 1 point there, but I just go back to last night when he passed me a 10 to go in a 410. That was the difference out of there. So, but hell, it's been a week for the dirt cars, and I can't be mad at all. I think it's one of my best showings in a dirt car in one of these weeks. So, big shout out to Blake because Blake's good and everything. Everybody knows that stuff. So.
Yeah, but Brennan, man, not to sell yourself short here, but we know as well as I do, you're just now getting back in the swing of things here, racing pretty regularly with us, man. It's good to have you back, but how have you felt being back? I mean, you showed you're still quick as ever.
Yeah, it's I take it back to in-life experience that being able to race a car in person's really pays off here. I've always told people that it might not be the exact thing, but to be able to tell how a track's moving, and telling the lines where you need to go, how to get there. And, I look at it and it's like, I don't run a mirror, right? So I'm a big admin on when it comes to iRacing stuff, people that run a mirror are going to mess up somehow. And, that's why I try to run as close as I can to other guys because it takes one lap and it's game on. So, it's just being able to tell where the track's going to go, be able to maneuver a car. And I'm always fairly good with fixed setup stuff just because I can maneuver it around enough that it works. But, when it comes to open stuff, old 30 car crew chief gets her all dialed in. So love me some open stuff too.
Well, hey, hell of a job, Brennan. Happy to have you back, man. One of the tightest points battles we've had. You really made it interesting. Did all you could. Just came up a little short, bud. But before you get out of here, you know the drill, man. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, big shout out to Stephen Goldner Racing. Appreciate the boys coming on this week. Hell of a time with them guys. Couldn't be more happy. Just 4 guys on a team now, eh? So we're just putting it on and having some fun while we do it. And here we go, Daytona around, what is this, 4 or 5? I don't even know, but let's hope we're not in wreck about 15. So.
yeah, I wish you guys the best of luck in that one, Brennan. Have fun tonight, man. Go get them.
Yeah, man. We'll see.
That's your winner, Brennan Lacey. But now we're going to bring up the overall winner, Blake. I guess you saw the news there. Man, oh man, I yelled at mom and dad to get in there and slam you on that headset, tell you it was going to be close, you needed to move. Did they do that, or did you figure out you had to go all on your own?
No, they were asking me about it today, and I told them I did the math, and I knew I had the championship for the dirt part clinched already by at least a point if Lacey won, and he did win. Congrats to him on the win tonight. But
You
yeah, it was
dog.
just
I said you did the math before you went out there. I knew it. Oh, man, I love that.
yeah, that's why I chose the 358 for tonight. I probably would have played it safe with a big block if I didn't have it wrapped up, but I figured take a little risk and see if it paid off. Fortunately, it didn't. We were able to hang with them for the most part, but those big blocks just had a little too much power for us tonight.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because, well, if you go back and watch this, I was yelling at you. I thought maybe you floated up a little too high going down the backstretch a couple times because, we'd see some of the big blocks just get absolute power run down there. But you in the 358, that makes a little more sense now why you weren't getting those big runs on the bottom. And honestly, makes your run all that more impressive. I mean, you and Dino, you guys fighting side by side. How much fun is that there coming to the end?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was just making sure that I was giving them enough room. I was having a little wheel trouble there the last couple of laps, so hopefully everything's all right there. But I was just trying to race it clean. I didn't want to take anyone out, especially since charity week. So just trying to give them enough room up top, but yet get a good run down low because I felt like it was kind of coming in a little bit towards the end. But just track to get quite wide enough for us to make a run at it.
Well, hey, Blake, able to bring home the dirt championship. One of these days, we'll talk you into doing the asphalt side of things so you can go for this overall champion. But until then, man, reigning dirt champion, how's it feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, man. I didn't know if I was going to be running this or not, but the family and Steve, they talked me into it. So I came out here and I had a lot of fun. Volusia's not one of my maybe most favorite tracks to run with all the cars, but I thought, it was a pretty good show and there was some pretty good racing going on all week long. And I got to thank everyone involved in putting this on. This was a really good idea, and I think it really went really well. At least I think it did. And hopefully we can do it again next year.
Well, man, I know you're not used to doing this here from 6th, but when you win a championship, you get to thank those sponsors, man. Who you want to thank? Good run this week.
Yeah, thanks, man. I got to, of course, thank the family for watching all week long. I got to thank the boys down at the Krite Sim Racing Team and the Can-Am Racing Team. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy and AJ Custom Creations. Got to thank those salty dogs for letting me hop in their Discord tonight. Got to thank Steve at Steve's Custom Golf Clubs. And of course, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. Nothing better to celebrate the occasion than with some Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You can head over to their website and don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T, at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. And of course, I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on, Shaggy.
Well, not only can you race on dirt, you're damn good at math, man. Knew you had it locked up by 1. That's exactly what you win by. Congratulations, Blake. And, man, hopefully we're bringing home a couple other championships this season. Good luck here, kid.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, Shaggy.
Blake Chapman brings it home, and, that's very interesting. I knew he'd have it pretty close. I didn't know he'd know no matter what that he was going to win by 1. That, takes the air out of the win a little bit. But Blake still went out here, had some fun. Got to race next to that OnlyFans 30 machine. Couldn't catch him, but ran side by side in the small block. That says something about the capabilities of him. And, well, normally this is the part where I bring up Travis and say, hey, he's going to do the second part of your show. He may not have known we were going to go this early, so what we're going to do is there may be a lot of ads in here because I'm going to shut this down. I don't want to end the stream because I'm not sure if Patrick Spengler's around to do the new code swap. So I got to let this thing run until Travis hops on. Then you'll see the commercials flop to probably his end or whatever he has going on. But thank you for tuning in here for my portion of Coast to Coast Speedweeks. Had a lot of fun as always, and no surprise, Blake Chapman brings home the dirt trophy. Stick around to see if Chad Griggs can hold on to that asphalt trophy, maybe the overall championship, or Brennan Lacey can get a good run in here at Daytona tonight and steal the whole thing. But on behalf of everyone here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, I'm Zach Chapman signing off and telling you to buckle up, hold on, wait up for Travis, and you'll get 50 laps at the Daytona International Speedway. So stick around.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Well, looks like I'm still here for now. We'll see if Travis ends up getting in here, and I'll let him pick up the second half of this thing. I don't want to make all these guys wait. We got 24 drivers here. And, well, I'll tell you guys the same thing I told Roger. I mean, it is at least charity week, but I've got some family here right now, and I'm not kicking them back out of the living room here. I did for that dirt one, so if you hear some TV stuff in the background, is what it is. I hate the is what it is attitude, but you know, I got other things I do outside of this too, so I can't expect everybody to reflect around me. But right now, coming into the final race here for C2C Speedweek's Chad Griggs, the man at the top of the overall points chart. Let me bring that back up. I thought I was done. I had closed that. Let me find that. The asphalt standings. Yeah, he's got a 7-point lead over Gary Offit, 8 points over Jack Clevenger, 9 over Cullen Johnston. So it could get a little interesting there. Brennan Lacey, the overall winner right now in the best of standings. He's got a 7-point lead over Griggs. And let's see here. We'll change that one to Daytona at least. I'll try to get to the other one. I just noticed that was wrong. My apologies. Sorry, kind of scrambling here. But realistically, the drivers are just qualifying right now. Anyways, nothing exciting about watching them go around for qualifying. So we're not missing much here. Qualifying means absolutely nothing. But keeping the car in one piece means absolutely everything. And, you know, it's really on these guys here tonight to keep this thing green flag for as long as they can. We've had man, I don't sugarcoat it here. We've had a lot of unnecessary wrecks here throughout the week, and the asphalt thing, guys just pushing it way too hard when they don't need to, and really just not using their head and making sure they're there at the end. Hopefully it changes a little bit. We can get a little better racing here this evening, and well, if you watched me last night, like, once again, I really, sorry, but I didn't think I was going to have to do this. or I would have. Why is that not working, actually? You see something right here. There we go. That would not pop up for me for the longest time. I have to zoom out this camera a little bit so you can get the overall picture when they start racing. I didn't save that last night. My apologies. That looks much better. Is the 87 of the General Andy Patton rolling around on the racetrack at the moment. I'm gonna actually, I noticed Roger was up here. I moved him back down. He probably couldn't hear me because I had everything muted, but I don't want him to forget he's in here and actually accidentally say something that he doesn't want to say. I'm going to go over the broadcast, so we'll just nip that here early. Keith Jackson right now, your quick time. 113 with a 49.62. 13 drivers have put in a lap. We've got 3 other ones on the racetrack. We waited a long time to do this. So, okay, Steve Bixler, Isaac Salas, they all have green flag, checkered flags. They're all here. Nobody's backed out of the session. Sorry about me pulling that up. I was just checking to see if everyone's hung out. If they're going to stay for the race, looks like they are. Haven't seen anybody leave the session. Doyle Lawrence, though, takes the pole there in the 3 machine as we see the 78 of Jack Clevenger pull to the inside. That thing is, they got a lot of chrome on that thing. And if it was sunny out, it may be a weapon, almost like a mirror. 56 of Randy Shreves rolls around. Greg Parmalee coming around here, lap number 2. And well, where did my overlay just disappear to? Mine just vanished off the screen. Give me 1 second here. I would really like to see it as well. There we go. It's back. And Greg Parmalee bringing it home 15th after he completes his 2nd and final lap. Only 16 drivers put in the time. Like I say, there are 8 or 9 other ones here that didn't even qualify. They know the deal. It does not matter at all where you qualify here at Daytona. In fact, it may help you a little bit just to line up in the back and play it cautious here, but 78 still sitting out there on the racetrack. Can't get a super good view there of the 78. I don't know what that line is going down the side of it. If that's just tint line. Yeah, because we don't see it from out this way. Just too much chrome on that thing. I like it, but boy, oh boy, they chromed it out. And actually, real quick here, I can't help it that he's the only one on the racetrack, but until they figure out what they're going to do, like I say, I didn't think I was doing this. I'm going to grab a drink real quick, so I'm going to mute myself here, but I'll be right back, about a minute or so, and we'll get ready to read off your starting lineup here for your 50-lap feature at the Daytona International Speedway. Still got 3 minutes here. Not sure if they will advance it early or what will happen here. Let's see, can I? Why doesn't that camera want to let me go there? I do a little more behind the scenes stuff. Okay, because it's not listed as a scenic group. I could have swore. Let's save this. I could have sworn I've done that before. But apparently not. Apparently not. That scenic group button. Basically, all that means is you can use that camera whenever there's nobody on the racetrack. And the only other scenic cameras I had there, I've had to, I'm only running with the 30 series graphics card, but if anybody out there coast to coast, listening, you got a 40 series, you're selling cheap, you're upgrading to that 50 series or something, maybe keep me in mind. Because I would like to upgrade that a little bit. But some of the scenic cameras on these big tracks don't exactly look the best on my computer, so I try to chill with the track cams. Don't get me wrong, it looks good enough, but man, my dad, he just put together a computer with the 5070 this week, and it makes my computer almost look like a PlayStation 2 compared to what he has. It's pretty unbelievable how awesome that stuff's getting out there. The technology's pretty unbelievable. But we got time. Oh yeah, Hollow. I just went over and looked. Yeah, Pepsi again. You're damn right. It's the my brother-in-law though. He got the kind with real sugar this time, not the normal. It's the white can. Pretty good. Tastes a little different, but I mean they're both pretty good. But Pepsi's my thing. I'll go with Coke sometimes when it's on sale, because my wife's a big Sprite drinker. But no, I'm a Pepsi guy through and through. 1 minute left here on qualifying. So the random talks continue here until Travis possibly stumbles his way in here, or we stumble our way through 50 laps. Now, hopefully we're not stumbling our way. Hopefully my words of wisdom and frustration a little bit, to be honest, get through to the drivers here. Let's keep this dang thing green flag. The last thing all of you guys want to see is another race with 7, 8 cautions in 50 laps. I mean, that's not what you want to see. I understand 2, maybe 3, but really anything over 3 in 50 laps, you're being a little dramatic in these cars. I mean, you're holding the gas down the whole time and slightly turning left. It's the easiest racing you're going to do in asphalt, and it's literally all about using your head and timing your run, not biting off more than you can chew, and just being respectful. So if you're out here running people over the whole night, after what we've been seeing, you may hear it from me tonight. I won't bite the tongue this evening. Let's take a look at the starting grid here for tonight's main event here in the NASCAR Next Gen cars. Rounding out the field, row number 12 on the high side, the 30 of Steven Goldner. To the inside, the mare, Steven Bixler. Row number 11 to the outside, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield. To the inside, the 11 of Chad Cote. Row number 10 on the outside, the 6 of Corey Schartzer. To the inside, the 414 of Brennan Lacey. Row number 9 on the outside, the 789 of Cale Bixler. To the inside, the 5 of Slide Job, Isaac Salas. Row number 8 on the outside, the 36 of Barry Goldner. To the inside, the 4 of Greg Parmalee. Row number 7 on the outside, the 25 of Gary Sigelkow. To the inside, the 05 of Devo, Donovan Ross. Row number 6 on the outside, the 325 of Willie Bill Calder. To the inside, the 747 of the Bassman, Roger Craig. Row number 5 on the outside, the General. In the 87, Andy Patton. To the inside, the Spider Monkey. In the 83, Brandon Dittmer. Row number 4 to the outside, a man in this points battle, the 27 of Chad Griggs. On the inside, the 13 of Cullen Johnston. Row number 3 to the outside, the 56 of Randy Shrees. To the inside, the 113 of Keith Jackson. Row number 2 on the top shelf, the 143 of Scott Zeneker. To the inside, the 94 of Gary Offit. Row number 1 for your main event here at the Daytona International Speedway. To the outside, the 78 of Jack Clevenger. And starting on the pole, the 3 of Doyle Lawrence. Doyle, a guy that, you know, if you're kind of new around coast to coast, that name may, surprise you a little bit. Doyle used to run a lot with us when we were doing the asphalt stuff a little more regular. Oh, look at that jet back in the back. We caught it last night. There it is again. God dang it. I'm in the worst freaking camera. No, I jumped up too far. Where is it? Ah, of course, I get here too late, not able to catch it in the background. I tried. Can't win them all. Let's change this back over to laps here. Get rid of the time. Oh, and I thought it was 50 laps. It's 75 laps. Holy crap. All right, guys. Yeah, we're going to behave. We're not going to do a bunch of cautions tonight. 75 laps. That's a long ride, so buckle up. We're probably I'm telling you, if this thing goes green, I love you guys, but it's a long time. They have TV commercials for a reason, because people like me run out of breath and things to say, so good chance we take a break or two here tonight since I'm by myself. Doing one of these with someone, tough enough when you go this long, but by yourself, boy oh boy. Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off. The green flag waves. We're underway. 75 laps at the Daytona International Speedway. We're underway. Side-by-side racing here early. The 78 of Jack Clevenger out to the early lead with a little help from the 3 of Doyle Lawrence. From the 143 of Scott Zeneker. Scott on the outside drops down to the inside here, looking to go to the lead early. So now drivers separating a little bit, but some guys weaving around here. Let's see what happens. Some bouncing, doing a good job though, keeping some space. Not going to get us into any trouble yet. We come across here, lap 1 in the books. Bassman Roger Craig down to the inside. I think he wants to fall back to the tail end of this lead pack here. You can do that, but the next gen not as forgiving as what we were in last night. The Xfinity car, you're going to see Bill Calder. He's in trouble. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay with this draft. You gotta really know what you're doing in this car. I mean, that's why I guess it is considered the A series. You know, I mean, to work the draft in these is way different. If you fall over that 6/10 gap and you're all by yourself, not getting hit from behind, you can see how small those guys are getting out of the front windshield. They're gone. Now, Bill has to get up in line right now, immediately. He's not. So you see they're kind of pulling away from him. It's different in this car. And now Gary Sigelkow coming up from behind. That's going to help him out. And I know we're in the back here, but I just want to show you how the drafting physics work a little bit with this car. It's way different, and if you get caught out, it's one of those you can get in real trouble. And let's jump up here, Brennan Lacey. Another thing I want to address. Say Brennan Lacey here, he gets up on the inside of Roger Craig there in that 747. He starts going up, pulling some side draft off of him. Well, if Greg Parmalee does that, they're both going to lose the draft. You start pulling side draft off people, and you're in the back of the pack, you start losing the draft. And right now, Chad Griggs going to the inside there was getting bounced around a little bit. We'll zoom out, see if we can get a bigger overall view of this. He's getting some help in the corners right now from, I believe that's Brandon Dittmer, maybe Jack Clevenger. Oh yeah, that's Brandon Dittmer. Brandon Dittmer helping the 27. Sorry, these guys, you know, all different paint jobs all week. Not really too sure who everyone is out there, but currently out front, Scott Zeneker with pace in the way and trying to get a nice little rhythm going here. We're coming to lap 5. We've got Greg Parmley at the tail end. Now back here, we've got this second pack. Brennan Lacey leading the way. Let's go off the nose of Brennan. See that front pack a good ways up the road, and really want 3 guys here in the next gen car. You can do it with 2, but they're going to need the help of Cale Bixler if they want to go run those guys down. 3 is what you want. You ask a Pro Series driver, maybe 4 if you can get the 2 in the middle of the sandwich to behave, but it looks like under caution here. Couldn't tell what happened. Steve Bixler in the back. I'm not seeing the 325 of Bill Calder possibly here. Well, you know, when I'm just going to call it how it is here. I hate to do this, but you give quick repairs, you lose the draft, and all of a sudden, you know, maybe you lose patience a little bit and you start racing a lot harder than you should, and you turn what could have been maybe a long green flag run into a early spin here, but at least, you know, you get yourself back in the race, and I guess that's what matters here at this point in time. Go down, hook the guys running in the back of the pack, and absolutely nothing Bill Calder could do there, and the guys out front, that's why we're under caution. And with that, we take our first break here of the evening, and we'll be right back here when they get closer to going green flag. We're back on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Still under caution here as Scott Zeneker paces the field. Lights are off. We should be going back green this time. Drivers will be coming to lap number 9. But, you know, hopefully drivers here, I mean, they were doing a good job at the front, settling down, doing a good job of just pack racing, trying to get this thing to at least the halfway point. But a couple guys maybe not happy with where they are in the back. We regroup up the field and tighten back up, try to do this thing one more time here. But, my man Joe Canellis is out there watching tonight. Jump in here and give these drivers a dang pep talk, man. After the show I saw you guys put on the other night, it 1,000% can be done. You just got to be disciplined. Like I say, you know, for 5 to go, hell, I expect that. You know, you're gonna get a big one here, but there's no reason to be doing it this early and to be, you know, possibly ruining guys' races here this early in the race. Such a long way to go that if, you know, if somebody's even pinching you and, you know, maybe it's not on you. Maybe somebody's driving you like a you-know-what. Just lift. Make sure you get that thing to the end. That's what's important. Right now isn't the moment. But as we drop the hammer, we're back underway. I think Scott Zeneker may be used to... our dirt may have went a little early. Not what you want to do here. You gotta wait till the restart zone. If you got a penalty, they may clear it. I don't know, but definitely gonna shake up the field here, spread them out a little bit. But Doyle Lawrence right away to the outside, looking to take that momentum. And oh, Roger Craig almost goes up, throws the block there on Brandon Dittmer. Brandon stayed in it. Roger lifts out though. Realizes maybe not the time to make that move as Brandon Dittmer swoops to the bottom. Team America going to the lead here early. We got the Stars and Stripes leading the way. Brandon Dittmer out front. Doyle getting a run though on the outside. He's got the 143 of Scott Zeneker on the rear end. Not a good enough of a run though to take it back at the lead or at the line. You don't need the lead. You're just strutting your stuff, honestly, if you're worried about leading at this point in time. Not a big deal. Owen Johnston, you know, he's trying to just hang out this week in these things, trying to play nice, and has gotten involved in almost everything that happens in front of him. None of his doing, but Cullen trying to work a little different here tonight. He's going to stay up towards the front, or at least try to. Maybe let it happen out of the rearview mirror tonight. We'll have to see. Right now, just ahead of mid-pack, excuse me, there for Cullen Johnson. Let's go back to 5 of Isaac Salas. He was able to win last night. He was 3rd coming across the stripe at the white flag. Chad Cote, the Goose, he's back here flapping his wings, stuck behind that 25, and Gary Singelkow didn't pit. That 25 has damage, and, well, Hollow, if you have a way to radio up the Goose here, tell him to get the hell around, because that's not the guy who you want to be behind right now. Well, maybe not the guy you want to be in front of right now either, but we're going to wreck here at Daytona. Just guys beating and banging. Bump drafting going into 3. Lap 10, 75 lap race. And we're under caution again. See how it starts here. And you can almost tell right now whoever is behind Doyle Lawrence. I believe it's the 143. If you're going to go up there and slam into the guy, well, you got to line it up. Let's go up to the blimp here whenever I can find it. So many cameras here at Daytona. My apologies. Try this one out. So you see, you just get that run and, well, I mean, he hit him about as far on the right side as he possibly could. And and yeah, you're gonna hear the dog bark. I'm not gonna. He's allowed to bark. That's what happens when people pull in. I saw my wife get up out and trying to wrestle him down. It's not her job to do that. Not tonight. But it's you know, I mean, like I say, if you're gonna hit the guy, dude, you got to do it square, and I just don't. Let's hop on board. Here, we'll go in the cockpit. This is exactly what he's seeing now. He could be higher or lower depending on where he has it, but this is the same view he has. You got to get on that left tail light if you're going to hit him. You're way too far over, and then you hook him. And when you're at the front of the pack and you hook somebody, well, this is what happens. You go for a ride. I mean, you gotta like the karma train a little bit there. It stinks that everybody else is involved, but what a way to hold on to this. Doyle Lawrence, I mean, it shows. I told you, if you weren't familiar with that name, get familiar with it. The guy knows how to drive an asphalt car. And if this doesn't show you all you need to see, you get turned going 195 mile an hour. Now, maybe used Roger here a little bit as a cushion. But I mean, you know, he's still no, he doesn't even use Roger as a cushion there. He keeps it off Roger. Keeps it off the 13. Now, he does get into Randy a little bit. But, dude, you just got turned at 190 mile an hour, and you keep that thing straight. The great hands from the driver of the 3 there, Doyle Lawrence. That's an underrated save. 2 cars on the racetrack stayed out, didn't pit. Roger Craig, Cullen Johnson. Everybody else has at least pit once here in this race. But see how this goes. And I see the dang it there in the chat, but if we're related to if the driver with the same last name, nobody to blame but the man in the car there. So just one of those things. We don't do a lot of restrictor plate racing. It's definitely not our forte. I would say that most of us are dirt guys for sure. A couple, you know, that especially Isaac Salas, a guy that comes to mind that's really good at both sides of it, not just the restrictor plate racing, but saving tires and doing long runs. In the asphalt tracks, Isaac's really good. Keith Jackson's another one who comes to mind, very good. Dan McLaren, he's not here, very good on the asphalt. Doyle, obviously, you heard me talk about him. I like to consider myself decent on the asphalt, maybe top 5 in here. I'm not going to go out and win the race necessarily, but hey, I got the race the other Tuesday night, and Keith and I had some fun in the trucks, I think. Wasn't able to get on by him, but I did run him down at Michigan and bumped him a little bit coming out of 2, lost the car. Then Mike Cramner ended up wrecking. I got up in front of Mike Cramner coming to the white flag lap, floated up a little too high, cut him off. That was on me, but definitely these asphalt races now, obviously not Daytona so much, but they are a lot more fun, you know, when you figure out how to master the long run and you really save those tires. You work on your trail braking. You know, even if you don't need to, just giving it a quick brake tap to help rotate the car rather than try to turn it all there with the wheel. Oh, Joe, you are here. Dude, I just noticed you did give us that rundown, dude. I slipped up on that. How are you doing tonight, Joe? Great to have you out here tonight, man. Good to see you tune in. And yeah, I just noticed you were here with the heck of a save 3, and then I went up to the top. Yeah, we did half of 500 with 3 cautions. I watched virtually every lap of that this morning. Told told him how great of a job they did. But the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. We're back underway. Lap 15 at Daytona International Speedway. We got guys dodged up, dip diving and dodging here at the start. Cullen Johnson on the outside. He's just going to stay there. If Goldner wants to make that move, he'll let him. You know, it's a long time. Just got to ride. Brandon Dittmer here, possibly going to float in line. Let's go sit on the backstretch. Let's see how they're fanning out here after the restart. Everybody, we're wrecking one more time. And back under caution. Let's see here. Let's try to go up in the aerial view. And yeah, Bill's swerving a little bit, but you know, I've been over this plenty of times. He's got the one arm thing. The man suffered from a stroke a couple months ago. Glad he's back out here racing with us. But this is kind of, I know Chad, I guess, wants to go here, but you know, like I say, it's not all on him, but it's one of those things where, I mean, I've tried to hammer this down since the start of this race, and you know, Bill, I think he'd admit to this. You know, he did the post. That's not the guy who you need to be beaten on like that. He's not up there racing for the front. Bill wasn't up there blocking, just hanging out on the bottom, just trying to survive. And well, I mean, when we're in the back of the pack on lap freaking 15, I don't think we need to bump draft our way to the front. But you know, everybody's going to do their own thing, and we're going to take a break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network and hopefully be back with some green flag runs. Stick around. Alrighty, gonna try this one more time here. Coming to lap 19 when we take the green flag here. We've had 3 cautions so far. Now, well, I don't mean this the wrong way, but they've been 3 light cautions too, so not necessarily a lot of cars getting involved, which, well, maybe isn't the best thing here for a long green flag run. Guys really got to behave. And see a lot of the Venom guys made a pit stop on that caution. Going to go to the back of the racetrack. I think they may be feeling what I'm feeling here. Might not be done yet, so I want to be at the back of this thing. You don't need to wad your race car up here in the opening third of the race. Now, not everyone so far this evening is going to agree with that strategy. But yeah, no, Hollow, I just saw what you said there. Sorry, I went down and talked to some of the Venom guys there into that commercial break, so I wasn't paying attention to that. But no, yeah, Bill, I mean, he's doing what he can. I've told you guys that all week, and he stressed it in the thing, man. He's out here for fun. He paid his money just like everybody else. This is for charity. You can see now, you can't see my mouse, but look, the 6 car back on the inside, he's leaving that gap, okay? And that's fine. It's a freaking restart at Daytona. You do not need to be up on the guy behind or in front of you. You're going to be just fine. Just watch as we go back green. Bill Calder leaving that little bit of gap. Now watch. Everybody behind him, you're going to see, it's going to be just like after Election Day. Well, here, Bill tried to get up out of the way of Gary, but Gary decided he was going to go up high. But everything's just going to be A-okay. You know, everybody's worried, hey, the world's going to come to an end. It's going to be all right, guys. We got a long way to go. It's a drafting racetrack. Just settle down, get in line, and work your way on up to the front. Set of teammates, though, lead the way. Brennan Lacey with Steven Goldner right behind him. Those two are going to be tough to dethrone. Brennan Lacey will do a good job of working that high side, and Goldner, I imagine, until we see that white flag lap, will stay pretty pinned to the back of the 14. Right now, they're just hoping this thing can stay green right now. Guys, in this front pack, where are we cutting it off at? We're going to say Barry Goldner. Yeah, the 36. And then Gary Siegelkow, the front of that train. And well, I think we decided we're going to race a little bit back here. Bill puts that thing as low as he can, letting everybody go on by. That's what he was trying to do, I believe, the last time as well. Able to let them move on by, and here we come. We'll have 20 in the books as we roll on closer to a third of the way through here at Daytona. Couldn't tell who floated up there. I think that's the mayor in the 75. It is Steve Bixler. Gets a little wide on corner entry, but Brandon Dickmer allowed for plenty of room there. Racing smart here, knowing there's a long, long way to go. And you got a couple different broken up packs behind you. So this is what you want here. You're up front, you know. I mean, they struggled getting around Siegelkow a little bit. I still am pretty firm on Siegelkow. Remember, he was involved in that early incident. We're not going to see it a lot because of, well, just the way the internet and everything works with netcode and whatnot, but he's got to have some damage on that front end. You don't turn somebody like that and not get damage, and I hadn't seen him use a quick repair. These things are going to be very sensitive off the nose, and that's why you didn't want Gary as the man out front. But speaking of the man out front, new leader Brandon Dittmer gets a push from Butters in the 93. And we got a new front 2, maybe a front 4 or 5. As Butters to the inside, Brandon Dittmer to the outside. Left Dittmer plenty of room to come back down low, and now Randy Shreves and Doyle Lawrence on the outside. They're going to see what they can get done. Right now, not lined up close enough to be real effective are the 56 and 3 car, but just being up there, being up in the front pack, where you want to be right now, that's for sure. Let's take a look back here at the second pack. I told you, Keith, he knows what he's doing out here. He's almost got that pack back up, and I told you wanted 4 cars. Remember? 3, maybe 4. They have 5, but Cullen Johnston doing what he needs to do. That 5th car just hanging back. He doesn't need to go up and get involved in that. You let those other 4 do the heavy lifting, and you just go along and get the free tow, and you find yourself back up here at the front of the pack, hopefully before too long, as they are inching ever so closer. Keith Jackson, he's within that range. You're going to see that pack really start to pull. My apologies there, I was coughing, had to mute the mic, but Keith Jackson with a big run now on the outside. Bringing along the 78 of Jack Clevenger in the Coors machine. And Cullen Johnston right where he wants to be at the tail end of that front pack. And let's see here. You know what? Like I say, I don't do these cars that often, and I promise you, I hate to do this now, but I would have done this if I was going to be working tonight. I would go like this. I would go like this. And I would put this thing right up here on the roof, because who doesn't love these roof cameras, you know? So we would go just like that. We would pretend we are the camera, and we would go save car, click this away, and look, now we got our roof camera. Now I feel so much better. I'll be able to watch the racing off the roof. That's one of my favorite cameras. You know, you get to see all the action. You saw the front guys spread out there a little bit. A little checkup, and now we go back to the roof here at Cullen Johnston. You see he's still in the draft as we're a third of the way through on lap 26. Got another plane coming down there. 3 and 4. This one looks right side up though, so right now iRacing, they've got their aviation under control. This is the Spider Monkey. If he takes a peek in that mirror, yeah, he's got to go down through that block. Doyle Lawrence went down there, going to take a peek. Had to go down there, seal him off. Now, Brennan Lacey all over the back of that 3 car. This is where you got to behave. If you're Brennan, you know, that 3rd car in line, you got the front pack broken away like you want. Well, now we got another. Look at that. So Lacey, not too sure how he did this. But, well, we got to move this one now. If we're going to move the roof, we got to move this. Go up here on the deck lid, and we almost miss it. So let's stop right now. Let's go back to Dittmer up front. Let's watch them on the high side, but we've got it half moved for now. But right now, Brennan Lacey to the front with that beat up front end. He may not know about it. That is going to slow him down. He maybe not wanting to be the lead car right now. If you're the 414, you could just save gas. You see, I mean, he pulled the airbag there. The 3 of Doyle Lawrence comes up, gives him a big shot. It barely moves, Brennan. Brennan right now with that front end damage, not going to be able to lead this thing. You know, maybe if you time your run correctly, you can lead it for about 5 or 10 seconds, just enough to get that thing over the line first. But with that front end damage, you're not going to be able to set the pace here and lead the field. Is right now Isaac Salas. They're flirting with disaster territory here. They're going to lose that draft. Up over the 2nd mark, and this is where he's got 1 car behind him, Corey Schartzer. Telling you, it's not enough. Going to need Randy Shreves to get here. Going to need to close in that gap, or this 2nd pack here is going to be in big trouble, and it's going to be in really big trouble here if Randy ducks to the outside and they start racing. I'm not too sure what's going through his head here. Maybe he just wants to duck out, fall to the back of this front pack. But you can't expect right now to get any help. And if you're the 56 of Randy Shreves, Watch this. You may lose the draft. I'm not wishing it on him. You see. Watch. It's going to be really, really close. It's close enough that it looks like he can hang here going down the backstretch. There's two cars in front of him going side by side were the real lifesaver. Scott Zeneker widening that air channel. As Butters, he's starting to tail off a little bit. Maybe doing a... Oh, we're doing pit stops here. Green flag, pit stops, Venom Racing. All coming in together. Isaac Sal's good job on the pit. Brennan Lacey, your first car. Let's see here. Does he... That's a terrible camera. Does he use that quick repair? I think Lacey used the quick repair here. Not getting tires. Why would you? Somebody else is. Hopefully they only get 2. No, they're getting 4. And that's going to be Corey Schartzer. His race is all but over. Now in the 6, it'll be same with Butterfield. Can't get tires here at Daytona. That is, it's not necessary, and it's absolutely going to kill you. And we're about to see that here. And Isaac Salas. Oh, man. If he gets black flag now for an illegal pit exit, that could ruin the 5. You got to stay under that yellow line, but he needed to get all he could get to try to keep up with these two, and he's not going to be close enough. If Goldner and Lacey are smart, though, they do wait for him because 3 cars are faster than 2. That's not me trying to get them to pick one up, but Lacey's car's already damaged as well, so he's not going to be the best help. Isaac would really help that 3-car pack move along. As Corey Schartzer, you see him get up out of the way. He took 4 tires. Now, Bixler gets into Parmalee, I believe, floats him up the racetrack. Bixler, he's pitting all by himself. That's going to do Steve Bixler in. Colin Johnston, one of the drivers back there all alone as well. Going to need some help in that 13 as Brandon Dittmer leads the way. The Spider Monkey has the 3 of Doyle Lawrence and the 27 of Chad Griggs right behind. Remember, Chad Griggs, one of the guys battling for your overall points championship. So Chad Griggs maybe looking to bring home the hardware after Daytona here tonight. Looking to do it in style as he's on the podium right now. Scott Zeneker to the inside here of Donovan Ross. They're right behind the 325 and the 25. We saw them get together once already, so they've worked it out here, but Gary Singlecow going to pull it down pit road. Brandon Dittmer still staying out there. Keith Jackson getting some help on the outside from the 78 of Jack Clevenger. Jack gives him a big bump. Couldn't really keep up with him, though, after that bump. He's got to try to find a way to work himself back into that bubble. As Dittmer slows down a little bit on the inside, Keith Jackson with the run. He's going to lead lap number 33 as we're on lap 34. Let's go back. Let's find... Yeah, so Goldner and Lacey absolutely left Isaac in the dust. He's back here by himself. He's got Corey coming, though, and they got the lead pack, so they're going to have to... Isaac's going to have to drop in line with this lead pack as long as he can, and hopefully him and Corey can link back up and try to run down Goldner and Lacey. But I believe Goldner and Lacey right now, they are the two who are battling for the lead here after... Leaders make their pit stops. Brandon Dittmer, Doyle Lawrence, Chad Griggs, Greg Parmalee. We got 4 cars shooting down pit road here. 2 chose to stay, with Isaac Salas now finally linking up with them. But he's going to need to play this thing smart here. I know he's going to want to stay with those guys, but you need to pick up your teammate here, Corey. Because those 2 guys in front of you are going to pit before you know it. And I don't think he's thinking about that right now. He's maybe thinking about the now, not so much the future. He's got in tow on these guys, able to reel them in, but they're going to disappear here, I'd imagine, this time by or the next. No, they stay out. Not going to come down this time. And Isaac Salas doing exactly what I said now, but maybe waiting a little too long. They're able to link up now. But, you know, you cost yourself an extra half lap around the racetrack, so... Gonna be strung out here now, still waiting for your front two here to come down pit road and make their stop. With Roger Craig and Cale Bixler currently on pit road. And here come your leaders down pit road. Cullen Johnston, your third place man. He's got Donovan Ross behind him. Do Cullen and Donovan come down pit road? The answer is yes. They both make their trip down this time. And Brandon Dittmer, the man who might inherit the lead right ahead of Chad Griggs. Here come Goldner and Lacey trying to make it a 4-car pack. And Steven Bixler also up here in the party, man. Right behind the Goose, Chad Cote. Cote a lap down at the moment, but trying to keep himself in that lucky dog position. As Keith Jackson working his way around the inside. Here comes your leaders, but him and Jack Clevenger so far, they may have nailed this thing. Here they come. We're going to have a 6-car pack. Going to run them down, but it's going to take a little bit. And maybe they don't run them down here if they're going to start racing. Don't do this, guys. There we go. They wised up. Yeah, don't think about this one here. Do you really want to let a set of 2 drivers run away from you? If you're Keith Jackson, you better be dragging the brakes and get that 78 to you as quick as you can. Try to pull this thing away. As you see the 78 really closing now, I guarantee you dragging the brakes a little bit there. As the whole field caught him. Didn't do it quick enough. And now, like I say, got a 6-car pack up front. 7 with the lap car of Zeneker. Big run for the USA 83 here. Brandon Dittmer takes the lead with the help of Chad Griggs, Goldner, and Lacey. The 143 of Scott Zeneker, you know, I think you just got to kind of hang out at the back of this pack and make sure that you're that first guy a lap down. You know, every time the leaders are going by someone, you want to suck right on up, go by. But I don't know if you necessarily want to do this and work your way into the middle of the pack. Then you're kind of asking yourself for an incident point if anything happens in front of you or around you. Make sure you have all the room you need. I had to blow the nose there. They're starting to mix it up. The 143. Looking to, I guess, lead this pack here. Too sure what's going on, and now Goldner and them. So now Zeneker, he goes down and dude, he's pulling side draft off those guys. That's not exactly what you want to see the lap car do, but they're working right through it. Now we might see Zeneker here if he doesn't get a little run here coming out of the corner. I guess the 56 close enough to him, he'll get a pull off that 14, but you pull that side draft and you float out that high, you really can lose those front guys. And we almost saw it there. Keith Jackson back out front here with 35 laps to go. In about 5 laps, we'll take a quick break here. Let me relax the vocal cords a little bit. There's a sickness going through my house too. My wife not feeling that great, sore throat. Honestly, I'm feeling the early stages of it, so I don't know how I sound to everyone, but throat's starting to become a little weak here after 2.5 hours. So we'll ride this thing as long as we can. Doesn't look like our replacement's coming tonight, so got these pipes the rest of the way. So got to take care of them here. It's Jack Clevenger doing a good job of taking care of the 113 of Keith Jackson. Just firmly planted on that rear end. Keeping him out front. And I told you, there it is. We didn't catch it. I tried to warn you. Keep sucking side draft. Watch this. There you go. There you go. And now the two cars that are both a lap down, they'll be racing themselves for the lucky dog. Congratulations for just not getting in line and trying to stay with the leaders. That's the biggest thing about these next-gen cars, man. You can't do it. It's not the Xfinity car. It's not the truck. These are so momentum-based. If you're going to pull out and try to suck side draft on people, maybe try to get a little fancy. Can come back and bite you if you don't do it all the time. And Brennan Lacey, while we were back there looking, he's feeling it a little bit. Now, Brandon Dittmer, this is where Dittmer's going to wish he had the broadcast on. That 14, that nose ain't healthy, man. That thing's a little sick. You see it dented in the front. He is not going to get the same pool of air that everyone else is getting. You see, he's just a little slower. So when he gets that bump, it's going to unsettle the rear end. It's going to be enough. He's going to stay with him. But he owes Dittmer a hot dog after this one, because if not for the help of that 83, they could have shuffled that 114 out and really made this a 5-car race, which if Brandon is thinking about this and being smart, probably the move he should have done, because the 30 and the 114 are going to work together, and now they're going to pull out side by side. No idea what's happening here. But with 3-4 cars, it's not going to be a huge threat, these leaders pulling away. They'll be able to run them back down, but you're doing unnecessary nonsense, and you're going to give these guys more of an opportunity to run you down. So the side-by-side stuff here with 30 to go, when you only got 6 cars in the front, me personally, if I'm Stephen Gold, or if I'm anybody here except Keith Jackson, if I'm Clevenger, Dittmer, Goldner, Griggs, or Lacey, I ask my wife to throw me my pack of cigarettes. I'd light up a cigarette, and I'm smoking cigarettes here until the next pit stop. I'm just driving around like I'm driving down the highway here, going to Florida or somewhere for a long drive. Just take it easy. You don't need to pass anyone. It's literally freaking pointless. Where Chad Griggs is right now is no different to me than where Keith Jackson is. In fact, I think it's better than where Keith Jackson is, because if the white flag was waving, I don't want to be that 113 right now. You're sitting duck out front. You're going to have no help, and you got a bunch of guys who want to win behind you. Right now, just bide your time. Take it easy. Make sure you get this thing home. But we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back with your final 30 laps here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as you see Stephen Goldner, Chad Griggs, Brennan Lacey coming down pit road. Got a little interesting there with those front six. They had gotten split up a little bit. They had trouble getting around a lap car, and now Brandon Dittmer. If you can't suck up on this draft, you got to pit now, and you got to hope you do it quick enough that you can tail in with Goldner, Lacey. If not, you're going to watch Keith Jackson and Jack Clevenger absolutely drive away. As Brandon Dittmer, you got to pit now, Spider Monkey. You got to pit. If anybody's listening to me, you got to tell them you got to pit right now. You got to pit or it's over. He's going to watch this thing disappear. Brandon Dittmer, get that thing down pit road. Get it down pit road. No, he's going to go around one more time. Ah, man. Dittmer. He is slowly closing in this gap, though. Dittmer might be there. He might say, Shaggy, shut the heck up. I know more than you do. Running him back down. He needs to get to these guys before they get any more drafting help. You're watching the hundredths of a second just inch closer and closer. He's got it to within half a second of Clevenger. And now Dittmer, you're going to see it go a little quicker on the relative. You see he's almost gotten a whole tenth now. The second half of the backstretch. Really 0.6 of a second. The magic mark here. In the Xfinity or in the next gen cars, if you don't have a car behind you, it's not like the trucks or Xfinity cars where you're good up to a second, maybe 1.1. You have got to stay closer. These things they're real boxy and they catch the air a lot different. Let's go back, see Stephen Goldner, Chad Griggs, Brennan Lacey. They are still all together here on the racetrack, so that's going to be a big deal. That's where Clevenger and Jackson, they're going to, I guess, maybe be a little thankful that Dittmer got to that rear end. They're going to wish he was a little closer. We need to be trying to plow down quick laps because those three are going to slowly inch in lap by lap by lap. But I like what Dittmer, Clevenger, and Jackson are doing here. They're going as long as they can. They're going to hopefully try to make it on one more stop, but it's going to be a tall ask here as we're coming to 24 laps to go. Devo currently in third place right now, or fourth place, excuse me, after the pit stops. Doyle Lawrence behind him. Kel Bixler. Roger Craig, 6th, 7th. We got Greg Parmalee trying to hold on to the draft. Barry Goldner there in tow. Stephen Goldner. Remember, he's already made his pit stop. Stephen Goldner, possibly your leader here when all things cycle out. And, Chad Griggs. I think he's going to play smart here. We're going to see him get close. And we'll hear that thing feather out, I bet. No, okay. He wants to run quick laps. All right, maybe he decided we do want to make up time. I thought Chad might be trying to save some fuel. I saw that gap kind of open up. But Keith Jackson, your leader, Stephen Goldner. So they're right up. They aren't a lap down, but here come your leaders, Brandon Dittmer. Still not very close to them, and I'm not sure what the thought process is there with the 83. Maybe just really trying to extend the fuel as long as he can. Not worried about going full throttle. But, you know, if he could see what we see on the big screen, Chad Griggs, that third car in line, really giving pushes. You want that speed, but Brandon Dittmer, the Spider Monkey, pitting all by himself here. He's got to nail it. He locks it up. Does a good job of staying on pit road, and I don't think Brandon Dittmer, he shouldn't get a flag for that. He's able to keep it on 2 tires. He's good in my book. Great entrance there for the 83 of Brandon Dittmer. Now, where's Goldner? This is who Dittmer needs to link up with. He needs to find a way to catch up to this group as Keith Jackson and then finally catch Bixler and Johnston. They're looking to put some more people a lap down here. And drivers should be scared because with how long he's been out on this racetrack, he might be able to go the rest of the way. Or these two drivers, I mean, might be able to go the rest of the way, which you know what the rest of the field wants to hear. Brandon Dittmer, he's coming out on the backstretch. Where's Stephen Goldner and those guys? So Dittmer, Well, Dittmer's actually, he's got to link up with these guys. I don't know what Dittmer did different or what, but I mean, he absolutely killed those guys. They aren't even, they're just now getting into 3. Great pit stop by the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer. Now, oh no, his help pulled off the track though. He's got to get to, who is that in front of him there? Is that the that's a 94 there, so that's Gary Offit. He's going to get a little help, maybe not the help he wanted or needed. But Keith Jackson, let's take a look here. This is where leader on pit road. Overshot pit road. You saw him have to back up. Overshoots his pit. That will cost him some time in the 113. As you see, Jack Clevenger going to beat him off pit road. Jack's going to have to feather that thing. Going to have to wait for his teammate in the 113. Let's see where the Spider Monkey is. This is exactly what the doctor ordered here for Brandon Dittmer. A rough pit stop from the 113. Now, where are they? There's Jack Clevenger. There's Keith Jackson. There's Brandon Dittmer. When did the 94 pit last? Oh, no, Brandon. He last pit 36. He's going to have to bail on you here soon, bud. But the Spider Monkey out front. And this is going to take some skill all in itself here. Brandon Dittmer going to have to block these guys when they come by. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You got to block. You got to slow them down a little bit. If they roar on by you, it's good night. You're not going to be able to stay in that draft wake. And you got 5 cars coming up behind you. Goldner, Lacey, and Griggs were able to catch up to the back of Jackson and Clevenger. So it's looking like we're going to have a 6-car battle here to the finish. As long as we keep this thing green, he's going to be wishing Cullen and Devo got off pit road just a little bit quicker. Be able to use them as help. But we're going to stay off the deck lid here. Here they come. It was 2.5 seconds at the line last time around. That leads down to under a second. Ooh, now what happens here? Lap car is going to get involved in this thing, I'm assuming, unless they stay to the inside. They have to now, because here comes Goldner to the outside. We got a battle for the lead here at Daytona with 18 laps to go. Chad Griggs just hanging out for right now. Keith Jackson as well. But up front, Stephen Goldner overtakes, no problem. Cullen Johnston now to the outside, and I think maybe going to think best of that here. Doesn't maybe thought, hey, I maybe don't need to do this. And you know, I do. I understand racing for the lucky dog. I really do. But let's let these guys here hopefully come into the line here. When we get into 10 to go, hopefully the top 6 have worked their way to the front of this lead pack, and maybe the boys a lap down can battle amongst themselves here at the rear end of it, because we saw Randy Shreves and Scott Seneker, you know, messing around at the tail end of a pack early on, side drafting, and well, kind of cost them. I mean, in the grand scheme of things. Now the 113 of Keith Jackson is looking to maybe get to the outside of Gary Sigelkow. Just not enough of a run at the moment. Gary Sigelkow, I think he did end up using a quick repair there. That thing looks a little better, but if you're going to float up and leave the lane open for the cars on the lead lap, don't go down there and slam it shut. That could have been bad. Keith Jackson on the binders here, living to race another day, knowing there's still plenty of time to go here. 16 laps, all but 15 minutes here. So go pop that popcorn, refill the drink. And imagine Stephen Goldner and Brennan Lacey. They're going to have to go down pit road again. Dittmer may be close, but I don't think Keith Jackson and Jack Clevenger will have to pit again. I really don't. And not to spoil the party here, but, you know, I did say 6-car race to the finish. It's not what we're going to have. Not with the way we've seen fuel mileage go. And I mean, right now, Keith Jackson, he was one of the guys who I talked about there in the opener, one of the better asphalt racers we have. And I like to think that I would have been right there with him this race on that strategy. You pit early, like they did, as early as you can to try to extend that first stint. Go as long as you can. They were one of the last to come down pit road, and just literally nailed the fuel mileage game here tonight if we stay green. And it should be a battle between him and that 78. If the 78 of Jack Clevenger can stay close enough. And, well, right now, I told you they were going to have to pit again. Brennan Lacey and Chad Griggs. Well, that changes the game. If they had to pit that early, maybe they can't make it here. That's pretty lengthy, but I don't know what you do if you're Brandon Dittmer. And I think you are on that keyboard and you're begging Devo to hang out with you and run this thing, but I'm gonna take a peek here. I thought so. Devo, his teammates are right behind him there, second and third, so I don't think the Spider Monkey gonna be getting a lot of help from that 05 of Donovan Ross here in the closing laps. Is right up the road. These are cars still on the lead lap, but for how much longer? Is here comes Brandon Dittmer in the lead pack. If you're still out there watching, boy oh boy, thank you. And I guess that means I'm doing an okay enough job here to keep you around. But the guys, after we got hard on them there in the early going, they really settled down. 3 early cautions, and we've been green ever since. And hats off to them. Hopefully we can keep it this way, because at this point, don't get me wrong, I know fans probably want to see a bigger battle for the lead here, but a caution does more harm than good. We're going to have a lot of cars a lap down, so there's still going to be lots of cars a lap down. And I don't think we need those lap down cars fighting amongst the leaders here on a possible green-white checkered attempt. And last couple shootouts. So I think it's kind of a product of what it's going to be. You know, we're going to have this on green flag run. We're going to have a shorter group of cars in the front pack, but that just speaks honestly to their ability to make green flag pit stops over some other drivers. That's the difference in these long green flag runs. You got to be able to nail pit road, and you got to be smart on pit road. We saw some drivers, you know, get caught with the tires. You know, Schartzer comes to mind. Him and Salas, they were right up there, but we screw up on a pit stop. We run around by ourselves. Now Barry Goldner, he's in that outside wall. Cullen Johnston, he's got to back out for the moment. There are only 3 cars on your screen. Well, now 4 has, 2 cars, and now 3 when the 78, there he goes, and reappears. Everyone else on the screen's a lap down. So we're just hoping that red car, the Coors machine, and the white one with the black hood can make it on through. They're trying to survive this thing. And I think if you're Keith, you're asking Devo how comfortable he is, because if you're not going to let me buy you being your teammate, I'm going to... Oh, we're under caution. Literally saw that coming there. Let's take a look here. Barry Goldner, he gets sideways, but let's see how. Just maybe zoned out, floated it up the wall, and jerked the wheel a little too hard to bring it down off the fence. Gets into the 113, who... Dominant car this race. Able to keep it straight. He's going to have some damage. He probably will have to pit here, Keith Jackson. But for now, no harm, no foul. We tighten up, and, well, this is exactly what I didn't want to have happen because... we may get two more of those here before this thing's over, but we're gonna hop away here, take a short break, and we'll be right back with hopefully our final green flag run here to the checkered flag. Stick around. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Should have a 6-lap shootout here. When we go back to green, Chad Griggs will be your leader. He's the only car who didn't come down pit road under that car. Well, him and Stephen Goldner, actually, but you'd seen they had made their pit stop about a lap and a half before, so... Brendan Lacey, that first car lap down, he's gonna, oh man. Now this is where Goldner and Griggs could have helped him out. They could have went down pit road there and let him get the wave around. But probably, maybe weren't worried about that at the moment. And Lacey's gonna have to fall to the back. We have, let's see here. 9 cars on the lead lap. Cullen, the last car on the lead lap here after getting that wave around. He'll be able to plug himself in here at the back of the field. And he's got himself in a position to win this thing, believe it or not, because he's still got 4 tires on it. And, well, Imagine a quick repair where I'm really hoping, man, no lap down cars do anything dumb here. Don't get on my bad side. Really, please. Do not get on my bad side. It's charity night. Let these guys race it out. You're not all getting your laps back. It is what it is at this point. We've run, what? 68 laps here so far. So let's just behave. Let's get this thing done. Let's see if Chad Griggs can bring home the trophy. Or somebody else can unseat him. And Brennan Lacey would have been that man, so... Coulter and them not pitting, boy, oh boy, when they listen to this, they'll realize, hey, maybe they could have helped out. But, well, no, I guess no. Griggs, why would he have pit there? No, okay. I just took the words right out of my mouth here as we go green. So Griggs was never going to pit there. He would have kept Lacey a lap down. It makes no sense for him to even think about pitting there. Steven Goldner now stuck with the outside. Somebody we saw take 4 tires early and maybe heard him and his teammate Corey Schartzer and Isaac Salas. Welcome to the front of the pack here. It's go time as Slide Job up here in the top 5. What can he do? He's got the Spider Monkey in front of him. They're good buddies. I know he'll work with Brandon Dittmer. Griggs may be the odd man out here. I'm not too sure who's willing to work with the 27. Not that, nobody's dislikes the guy, but it's just, everybody's got their clique. They've got their teammates up here. We'll see a couple groups. So Chad gonna need a little bit of help here if this thing stays green. Right now, Cullen Johnston, last car on the lead lap, him and Scott Zeneker, they are battling for position, but they're a ways back on this guy. Well, and Brandon Dittmer, man, he gets shuffled to the inside. We're gonna live to race another day here. And Brennan Lacey, this is where I'm telling you, man, you're a lap down, and dude, when these guys wreck, they're going to wreck. You're the lucky dog, so just be careful, man. You're racing that 3 car behind you, and you want to make sure that you're not in the wreck. So it's a line in the sand, and you got to know when to draw it. Maybe when to bend it a little bit. There, but we got 4 laps to go. And Keith Jackson firmly planted on the inside with his teammate in the 78, Jack Clevenger, right behind him. Chad Griggs in 3rd. When and if does he jump out of line to make the move on the high side? Does Isaac go with him? Because I imagine Dittmer and Schartzer, they will hop right on board and go up there. We'd have 4 cars. There go 2 of them. There go 3 of them. Does the 27 join the party? Because you're gonna miss your ticket here. Don't want to be late to the ball. If you're Chad Griggs, this is your chance. You got a set of teammates trying to work to the high side, but now you got Lacey. He's been able to get behind his teammate Steven Goldner. This is where you treat that lucky dog a little different. You're trying to maybe get your teammate a checkered flag here. So Lacey, how hard does he work that rear bumper of the 30th Steven Goldner? Because we are running out of time here at Daytona as we're going through 3 and 4. Gonna have popsicle sticks in the air this time by 2 laps to go. Oh boy. Goldner gives Griggs a little shot. He lifts out of it. Let Griggs catch it. That may allow this top side to get a much-needed run. See if Isaac Salas... Oh, there he goes. Chad Griggs going up and shutting the door now. That's going to allow Steven Goldner to get a big run. Griggs up top 3 wide as Isaac Salas gives him a shot. Now we're going to be under caution again. And Brandon Lacey, welcome back to the lead lap. Have to see what happened here. No, 2 laps to go. I told you they were going to wreck. I mean, anybody who watches any races at Daytona, if you didn't think they were going to wreck there, I'd question whether you watched a race at Daytona or not. Get a run with 2 to go. Isaac's not going to lift out of that, after he gets the block thrown on him, especially when he watches the 30 of Stephen Goldner just keep going. He does go up there. He's the meat in the sandwich. He gets a bump from the 83, but he follows Griggs up, gives him another bump. Ducks now in the middle, 3 wide, and we're going to pay attention. That black line is going to kind of be important here, relevance line. So Isaac's floating up a little bit, but he's coming back down under it here. Comes back up to it. And that's where they make the contact. So, this would have been a way better view here. So Griggs here, Griggs does a pretty good job of holding his line. Not sure if Isaac maybe thought he was clear. But 27's still up there. And oh, man, he almost made it through there. What loop, Griggs? Just gets a little tap off right in the door from the 747 and goes around Chad Griggs. Oh, holy sh! It almost came out. That was as organic as they get. I'm glad I paused that one. Well, we got a green-white checkered coming up here, and we're going to step away, and we'll be right back to bring you your final 2 laps here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Stick around. Maybe the life raft Scott Zeneker and Cullen Johnston needed. Remember, they were lucky dogs the last time around. Well, actually, Scott Zeneker, he's still back there a little bit, so their car may not be that great. May have a lot of damage on it. He may have been coming in under these cautions to repair it. You can see that little crease on the left front. That's actually exactly what it is. So he's not going to be up the full song. But the 13 of Cullen Johnston, welcome to the party, hung out, kept his stuff clean, and he's inside the top 5 on our first attempt at a green-white checkered. I know If you're an asphalt racer here with C2C or you've watched them before, you know who Cullen Johnston is, and well, always root for Cullen here. He's helps out a lot with admitting in the asphalt stuff. He's one of the unsung heroes of the Coast to Coast Racing League, that's for sure. There's the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. Green, white, checkered at the Daytona International Speedway. 9 cars on the lead lap. Julio Lawrence at the end of that. Chad Griggs towards the end as well. And Scott Zeneker, you can see him slowing down on the top, that orange number. He's got a wounded race car, so he'll probably finish at the tail end of the lead lap, but able to keep it on the lead lap. That's a good run for Zeneker. Is right now Keith Jackson glued to the back of that 78 as we got a 4-car breakaway. Can Cullen Johnston, Brandon Dittmer possibly work together? Oh, Brandon's way back there. So actually Cullen in the top 5. He's the only one who can really do anything. And well, right now he got people running side by side with him. It's a 4-car race here. So 4-car race to the finish. White flag flies. Who's it going to be? Keith Jackson and Jack Clevenger, or does Corey Schartzer go up there and help Steven Goldner? The answer is no, so you know who's going to win this race. It's going to be the 78 unless the 13 pulls out and tries something here. Corey not willing to go up there and help Goldner, so you're not going to get the favor returned to you here. I think he kind of sized that fact up. Going to just stay where he is, and this may be one of the more calmer finishes we've had at Daytona. Who knows? He's trying to wedge Keith up off the bottom. Not going to work. Jack Clevenger, as we come to the line. Jack Clevenger's going to win at Daytona. Keith Jackson, Corey Schartzer, and Steven Goldner. Cullen Johnston rounds out your top 5. After a long, long race here at the Daytona International Speedway. Truthfully, a little bit of an anticlimactic finish there. I saw the writing on the wall. I didn't mean to spoil it for everybody, but going down the backstretch when Corey and Steven weren't willing to work together, that was going to be all she wrote. As not to put words in Keith Jackson's mouth, nor will he say it. He's brought home plenty of victories here on the asphalt side, and this is not a shot at Jack Clevenger, but the same can't be said for the 78 on the asphalt side of things. And you got a chance to push your teammate to a win. Why the hell not? Great job by the 2 boys there, the 78 and the 113, getting it done. And Corey Schatz are able to sneak Venom Racing onto the podium. Dog and Steven Goldner down the backstretch. We'll let these guys have a minute or two here to catch their breath. Chad Griggs finished in front of Brennan Lacey by a long way, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Chad Griggs, your overall champion. Here, I think that's safe to say. I mean, when you... Let's see. Or no. Excuse me. Lacey came in with the 7-point lead. I'm so glad I looked at that. Now, this will actually... let's see here. This won't be... This race won't count for Lacey. I can do some homework here for Griggs. Now, Griggs' drop weeks... Your drop races are just 1. 86. So Griggs, where did he finish? Let's see here. 7th. No, Brennan Lacey gonna bring it home. Maybe didn't bring home the dirt championship side of things, but Brennan Lacey, he's gonna be your overall champion here. I was never that good at math, but I would be shocked if I don't get a message from Roger telling me that he won. I'm going to go back. Sorry, it's a long way. A lot of passing here at Daytona. I'm kind of staring, trying to find what green flag run I'm going to put on here for the interviews. I have to find it. We're going to obviously use the one where they went 60-some laps here, so let's find Corey. See if we can pull him up to the broadcast booth, the Caldwell, Ohio native. See, he's probably up here waiting for me. He is able to pull him on up. Corey, man, we don't need to say what was said, but I come down there, I hammered you guys a little bit, and
you did, sir.
Boy, oh boy, man, we got a long green flag run, and it seems like if not, I'm not going to harp on you. Obviously, you're glad that that earlier caution came out, but what happened, Corey? Did we forget to take tires off?
No, I actually saved a set of tires for the end.
No, I mean the green flag pit stop.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes,
I was going to say.
I did not have enough time to check off tires.
Don't lie to me, Corey. I caught it on the broadcast.
Nope. That was 100% my fault. Even Isaac told me as I was coming into the pits, I just did not have enough time between my box and adjusting the black box and getting down there and unchecking it. And so we just ran with it.
Yeah, Now, obviously, like I say, we had just had that conversation. So you and Isaac, you're probably thinking, okay, no big deal. We're going to get another caution. But what are you thinking, man? We get to about 15 to go, and we're still green flag. Did you really think you were going to get up there?
No. I was telling Isaac, too, and I was saying, I was like, if we still go green, we have to decide when we want to dive down and pit. Like, we don't have enough fuel, We got to decide tires. We got to decide, when, what lap. And I was saying maybe 7 to go. And then that caution came out. And I was like, oh, my Lord. Thank you.
Yeah, able to, after a long night, 75 laps. Like, dude, I know it's, we're highway driving some of it. But, how are we feeling? Are we exhausted? We did a lot of driving tonight.
Yeah. Well, mentally a little exhausted, honestly, a lot of strategy tonight, to be honest with you. With the second half there being green flag for most of it. That's, you got to start thinking about fuel and tires. But man, that was the funnest of the week by far. I will say that.
Well, Corey, at the end of the race there, it kind of stunk. Obviously, you need to work by Goldner, but not having anybody else behind you, you kind of did what you had to do, man. Trying to push Keith up out of the way to stick to the bottom and get second, but you're kind of the odd man out. You did a good job, though, bringing that thing home in third for Venom. Congratulations, Corey. Who you want to thank?
Thanks, sir. Obviously, I'd like to thank the guys at Venom, Isaac, Brian, everybody there, man. This team has been so amazing. It's a brotherhood at this point, and also JRB Designs for the wrap. Other than that, man, you for putting on the broadcast and sticking it out. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah,
that's it. My wife, my daughter, and that's it. We're done. Let's go home.
Well, Corey, good thing you mentioned the wife in there. I didn't do that once. I got in trouble. So
yeah,
good thing you saved your butt. Congratulations, Corey, and hopefully I'm talking to you again soon, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Shaggy.
Corey Schatzer bringing it home P2, and now we're going to bring up bringing it home P3, excuse me. This is the man who brought it up P2, a little slip there. Keith, now, you're not going to say it, man, so I'm going to say it for you. You've got your fair share of asphalt wins, and how did it feel to be able to give one to Jack there, give him a good shot to the line?
Oh, it felt good, man. I'm not, I haven't ran that much this week, so point-wise really didn't matter to me. And he was able to get a little bit better start there, and I was like, well, hell, if you're going to pull down in front of me, might as well just push you to the checkers.
Yeah, you're getting a handful there going through 3 and 4, but dude, you stayed glued to the bottom. How hard was it to hold on to it that final lap? Corey was all over you.
Yeah, Corey really saved our bacon there. I got to pushing Jack, and he came up off the paint there a little bit, and I damn near hooked his left rear and spun him, and I checked up, and then I just knew Goldner and Corey were going to blow our doors off, but Corey stayed with us and Goldner pulled out, and I was able to get back to Jack and just stayed glued to him, and Corey stayed glued to me too. I was surprised he didn't try to pull out and try to get a run, but no, it worked out. Pretty damn good run. I know me and Jack, we worked pretty much that whole second half of that race together and was able to make up a lot of time and get a lot of track position. So all in all, pretty good second half. First half was a little rough, but worked out good for us.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what I was gonna say. I went to every Discord. Your guys's was next. I was yelling at people, telling them to calm down under these commercial breaks that I was running. It wouldn't go over the broadcast. Trust me. I may have gotten in trouble, but
well, even if it was, I would have blamed you. That was rough. That was a rough start for sure. Once kind of the packs got split up a little bit, though, everybody was able to hold their lines and seem to stay connected a little bit better.
Yeah, what are you and Jack thinking though, man? I mean, during these green flag pit stops, I mean, the only one that maybe you got outclassed on one pit stop, Dittmer did a good job there on that one, was able to link up, but you guys ran him down no problem. But you guys were so consistent on the green flag pit stops. Did we practice those at all, or are you just real comfortable in these cars?
I think we're just comfortable in them. We run quite a bit of asphalt, so we got quite a bit of time and getting in and out of pit road. I know I blew the box once by about 3 feet and had to back up. It killed us. That was that last stop that Dittmer was able to.
I wasn't going to yell at you about it.
Yeah, no, that was the stop that Dittmer was able to jump us. And I was slow getting around the access line there. It was a little slicker than what it was earlier in the race, so that kind of held us back a little bit. But our fuel mileage, the way our fuel played out, we went in, I think, a second time where everybody else stayed out, so we had enough to make it. And I think Dittmer was still going to have to pit regardless had that yellow not came out.
So he was 4 laps short at least. He was 4 laps short at least.
So we were pretty confident if we could just ride around and stay tucked behind people. I think we were +1 or +1.5 on laps. So if it would have stayed green, we were pretty confident that as long as we stay hooked up and use these lap cars to try to save a little bit extra if we can, wasn't going to be no problem. And then we just got stuck in a pack there, and I don't know if somebody bounced off the wall and shot down the track and wiped us out or what happened, but luckily we'd had that long green flag run, and we were able to make good ground early in the run, and we were able to stay out like an extra lap and a half, 2 laps, and put quite a few people a lap down there.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely hit the nail on the head with that one too. Goldner got pretty close to the wall. I think yanked it down a little too quick, lost the rear end on probably, slick older tires, and well, you paid the price for that, but at least you were out front the whole time. And I'm assuming we ended this thing, you probably even had a quick repair in the pocket, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I had one left over, so we were full send there on that last restart.
Well, congratulations, Keith, man. It was awesome watching you push Jack to the win. I kept you up here long enough, but before I kick you out of here, man, who you want to thank?
Devo, Jack, Greg, Gary, Roger, and all those guys putting this stuff on, and you taking time out to broadcast for us, dude. Appreciate you.
Yeah, great run, Keith, and man, way to push him to a win there. That was a very unselfish, and it's going to be good talking to Jack here at the end.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you later, bub.
Now we're going to pull up our winner here in the 78, Jack Clevenger. Jack, man, it comes down to that restart. You nail it. You get the teammate to commit to you, brother. How are we feeling after a long 75 laps?
Well, I thought, me and Keith thought we didn't realize that it dropped the race there, so I thought I was only 8 points out of winning the championship, but Keith should have won the race, and then it would have capped everything off for him.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. You could say Keith led most of this race, but, he didn't do it without the help of you. And that Chrome 78, man, are you just now, each driver has their own preference. For instance, if I'm Keith in the early stages of the race, dude, I stare at that damn rearview mirror too much, and I can't hold a line. Are you just, and I like to think of myself more as what you did, the pusher. I'm really good at pushing, maybe not necessarily holding your line. Are you just more comfortable being the pusher there? Is that why we went that route?
It's just kind of how it played out. I mean, I don't mind pushing as long as the guy can hold a straight line. That's the biggest thing is you get a guy that's wiggly and you bump him.
Yeah,
and
a guy like me. That's what I'm saying, Jack. You don't need a guy like me in front of you. That's why I let the good guys go by and I try to, sneak them on the last lap. But
I don't know if I'd say we're good. We just got lucky. It's the super speedway race is all luck.
No, it's not, because you guys outplayed everybody on the name of the game, man. Strategy. What are you thinking? I had it nailed on the broadcast too. I knew you guys were good on gas based on the laps and everybody else not. So what are you thinking? I mean, obviously you both have a quick repair there. Not the end of the world with that caution, but dude, how frustrated are you there?
I was pretty frustrated. Devo was 2 laps down, so he's begging for a caution. I'm like, no, we don't want a caution. We got enough fuel to make it, and I kind of felt bad because he's just riding around to get some laps, and we're running for the win. And I knew everybody else had the pit. And me and Keith were got in that big pack, and we were saving a little bit just to be sure we could make it. And it kind of sucks, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things where frustrated, but man, when you cross that stripe at the end, it's all got to go away. Hell of a run, dude. You and the teammate won too. I know you got to be pumped, but who you want to thank, Jack?
Just thank Keith and Devo and Gary and Greg and you for the broadcast, Zach, and Roger for the league to race in, and hopefully the USA hockey team comes through tonight and puts a whooping on Canada.
Is that on right now?
I believe it is. I heard it was tied 2-2 in the third, or going into the third.
Oh, my God. We got to hurry up. All right, I'm kicking you out of here. Good run, Jack. Congratulations. I got to interview Brennan real quick and pretend to care that he won the championship.
Thanks, Zach.
Jack Clevenger, man, bringing it home. And now we're going to bring up the man who, Brennan, you got snookered out of the Dirt Championship by 1, but you weren't going to let it happen this time. Pretty close there on points, but able to bring it home. How you feel?
Wait a second. Is that a W? I thought me and Golden are tied.
Oh, wait, is it really?
Me and Golden are tied, bud.
Oh, God dang it. Well.
So
we got to pull Goldner up here, too. All right. Well, yeah, everything I just said, but with Steven Goldner included, man, how we feeling, guys?
We're good. It was a fun race.
Now, are we doing math on the fly here to make sure we split this championship? Is this what happened here?
It's updated.
No, I'm talking about you guys mid-race. I'm saying, are we guys?
No. If Lacey knew how to slow down going into the pits, he would have won this thing flat out. But
yeah, I'm pretty good at hitting cones and grass and everything else.
Oh, man. So that was the mistake then that put you a lap down.
He thought he was dirt racing still.
I'm not a cup guy. I'll leave it at that.
Well, let's be honest, it is what it is. Frustrating start. But, you guys, after we get the long green flag run, I mean, you had to be feeling pretty good there running up towards the front, right?
Yeah, we were working real well together for the majority of the race. Like, we were teamed up, pretty well from the start. And it was just, we were in sync and rolling by guys like they were kind of tied to a pole there. It was fun.
Now, how short, obviously the caution pretty much, Jack ended up winning anyways, but they were good on gas. If we didn't get that caution, how short were you guys on fuel?
I'd say we were probably 3-4 laps to good.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, we made sure we pitted early enough to come out front, but make sure we had enough fuel too. So we were working on it that whole little run there right before our last pit stop, that we were trying to figure out what we needed when we needed to pit and kind of do it kind of secretive. So hopefully no one came with us and we could have just teamed up there and teamed up the rest of the race and hopefully went on the win, but it didn't work out that way. But it's okay.
Now, Brennan, you're from the States, right?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Okay, now, this hockey game, it's tied 2-2 in the third period. Are we betting the trophy on the end of the hockey?
I would say that we have a bigger bet rolling with Moonen, because Moonen didn't race tonight just to stay glued to the TV, and Goldner's trying to piss him off all night. So we'll see how this goes down. But, yeah, I would say it's going to be a tight one, so that's where I'm going after this.
Yeah, no, congratulations, guys. I don't mean to cut this short, but, long race. I want to go watch that third period. So hell of a job, fellas. You go first, Brennan. Who do you want to thank, brother?
Well, I got to thank the 30 car, Guy's a hell of a crew chief, Hall of Famer in the C2C League. Guy does it all, and what can I say? I was 2 laps down, still running 5th. So, but it was a good time. I got to appreciate them. Appreciate you coming on to all these long-ass nights we got rocking here, but it's finally over with.
All right, Goldner. Let's hear it, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta thank everyone too. It's a hell of a lot of fun racing with these guys. I wouldn't do it with anyone else. We surprisingly we're really good at these Daytona tracks and Daytona Talladega, stuff like that, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. We just need to get our dirt stuff a little bit better where we're contending for wins there. But yeah, pretty happy with how the speed weeks went, and looking forward to the next one.
Well, I look forward to it, guys. I had picked up another Tuesday league where, I don't know, they run like an IROC schedule. It's only 1 or 2 times a month. So you guys better be there on Tuesday nights. I want to do some more asphalt racing with you guys. But hell of a job tonight. Congratulations on the split championship, and good luck the rest of the season, fellas.
Yeah, man, we'll see you.
Thanks a lot. Enjoy the hockey game.
Oh, yeah. Go Team USA here as we get ready to close out. No offense to all our Canadian drivers, but come on, man. You guys have literally pounded us in hockey for years. We need this. But for everyone here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, I'm Zach Chapman saying thank you for tuning in. If you've been here this long, Roger Craig, all the admins, we appreciate it, man. Have a good evening, and go Team USA.